All right, we are live. We're going to go ahead and get started in just about 4 minutes. We had so many people have interest in this class today that I'm also going to stream to YouTube because we're going to run out of spaces. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get that started. It's my first time doing this, so we will see. We're going to do this account. Hopefully that works.
We couldn't even wait till the time to get on. We just want to get on here.
All right, let's see. I'm going to go live. Let's see, make sure it's the right YouTube channel. Because I have a couple. One that doesn't do anything. One that I just started, like when I started my Gmail. And so we'll make sure it's going
Right
live.
YouTube
It's the right
channel.
one. Yes, it is. All right. So we are live. So we probably want to mute this one.
Doesn't do anything. When I just started, like when I started.
Okay, I'm going to mute this one.
Oh, yeah.
And so we'll make sure it's
Because
going.
we don't want to hear ourselves. Okay, perfect. All right. So we're live on YouTube. We're live here on Zoom. And we got 3 minutes till we start. So awesome. I see people are still filing in.
I feel like I should stretch out or something.
It's already here.
Let's go. Let's go.
And I'll introduce the gentleman sitting next to me for those of you who may not know him. Most of you do if you're following my Instagram, my life, and my stories, but if not, we're going to get started in just a few, and you'll hear all about why he's sitting here and how integral he has been to this whole topic for me in my life and why I want to share it with you. So if you have questions about burning fat, building muscle, raising your metabolism, getting more energy, go ahead and pop those in the chat because we are going to make this very interactive. I'll talk and share some information in the beginning. Coach Kijon will share some information as well, but mainly this is for you, not for me. So I want to answer your questions. And so definitely let's make this as interactive as possible. So pop those questions either in the chat or in the Q&A. So there's two sections. You could say hi in the chat. I see we got hi from Florida with Cassie there. Say hello, hello.
Yes.
Hey, it's KD or Bess. Wonderful from West Virginia.
Very
People
nice.
from all over the world are
Welcome,
tuning
guys.
in.
Welcome. Everything's happening for a reason. So everybody who's meant to be here will be here today. So I'm very excited.
Awesome. We've got about 2 minutes. I don't like to start early because I always get the person who's like, I came in on time and you were in the middle of talking. And so I always try to do the little chit chat before we get on.
Yeah.
Those of you, most people are familiar with Zoom, but those of you who are not, down at the bottom, there's a little like dashboard and there's a little two bubbles. That's the chat. That's where we can talk to each other and say, hi, how's it going? And then there's a question mark in a bubble and that's a Q&A. And that's actually easier for me to track the questions because the chat can go so fast and the Q&A can kind of mark them as answered.
Hi, Pam.
Yeah, just say hi to
I can't
everybody.
say to everybody. Well, before we start, I'm saying
Janice, Heather.
before I'm going to say hi to everybody.
Awesome. Yes. Okay. So cool. So we are just 1 minute away. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I feel like it's like the New Year's Eve.
Come on, Doc.
The ball
Let's
drop.
do some push-ups. Let's go. And our energy is up today, as
Absolutely.
is every day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I feel like I have more energy now than I've ever had in my entire life at 51. Awesome. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started because we got, should I wait till the actual turn of the clock? I should.
Wait for it.
12 o'clock. All right. It's 12 o'clock here in Panama City Beach, Florida. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So welcome everybody who's here. I'm super excited to have you here. Today, the topic, we call this class Built Not Broken, how to get in the best shape of your life after age 40, but it's true for after age 50, 60, 70, 80, and also after age 20, 30. It doesn't matter how old you are, basically. That's the point. And so basically how to burn fat, build muscle, and get energy back, because that's the three things that I hear from women all the time that they have problems with. And I always hear like, I feel like my body is broken. I feel like things are not working anymore. I used to be able to live my life and eat the same foods and do the same exercises and be fit and fit in my clothes. And now I'm doing the same things and I'm not fitting in my clothes anymore. And my waistline's expanding and I'm getting cellulite and I just don't feel good. I don't have a libido. I don't have energy. I'm hearing all these things and it's true because I work with women all the time in this demographic, and that is what generally happens if you don't change what you're doing, if you keep doing the same thing you've been doing all the time, because your body is changing. And so you can't treat your body the same way because you have a different body now. And one of the big needle movers is strength training and also eating differently as well. And those are the couple things that I changed in my life. in this year. And I've been healthy my whole life. Those of you who followed me for the last 10 years, I've always been healthy. I've never been overweight, but I was in the demographic of women. There's a study I just read about 3 months ago, and it said 91% of women in the United States, 91, are unhappy with their bodies when they look at themselves in the mirror.
Wow. No.
91%. That's pretty much almost every woman
Hmm.
that you talk to is going to be unhappy when she looks at herself in the mirror. And I was actually one of those people, believe it or not. I mean, people looked at me and they thought I was fit, but in reality, I wouldn't wear shorts because I had cellulite on the backs of my thighs. I wasn't happy with my body, even though I was doing all the work. I was at the gym a lot. I was doing a lot of cardio. I was on the Stairmaster answering all my emails and watching, like I've had continuing education courses. I would do that on the Stairmaster. So I was always burning calories, but I wasn't progressing in my body wasn't changing. It was staying the same basically. So I wasn't getting heavier. So that was a plus,
Yes.
you would say, but it wasn't helping me. And so I was basically doing what I knew. And I was also doing weight training. So we always hear, we get heard, wear the weighted vest and do it for a walk, lift weights, do cardio, eat clean foods, right? So we're all doing all those things. A lot of us are, especially you guys on this call, because you're interested in health. Chances are you're doing those things, but you might not be doing them to the most effective way. And that was my story. I was going to the gym and I was doing 3 sets of 12 of different exercises. You know, I'd see, okay, lat pull down or bicep curl or shoulder press. And I was doing it and I wasn't getting any stronger. I wasn't changing my body at all. I wasn't getting weaker. So I was always lifting the same weights pretty much. Every once in a while, I would try to like do a little bit more, but then I'd be like, okay, that's good enough because it started to hurt. And so then I met Coach Kijon at the gym one day. And I was trying to do pull-ups. And so I did 2 pull-ups, I think it was, almost 2. And Coach Kijon was over on the side. He was doing his own thing. He's like, oh, good job. You know, I said I got 2 pull-ups. And I was like, oh, I was trying to get 10 pull-ups. So it wasn't that good of a job. And he asked me a couple of questions. He's like, well, when you do the lat pull-down machine, how much do you usually do on that? And I'm like, oh, I do 70 pounds for like 3 sets of 12. And then he's like, well, how much do you weigh? And I'm like, well, I weigh 125 pounds about. So he's like, well, what do you think that you'd be able to pull up 125 pounds on the lat pull down, right? And so he's basically telling me I had to keep going up on the lat pull down if I want to be able to pull my body weight up. And that thought didn't occur to me. And it makes total sense.
Yes.
And so I looked over and he had a little shop in the back of the gym. And on the countertops, he had these sound bowls and chakra things, all these crystals and stuff. And I'm like, this is not your normal like bodybuilder, musclehead, personal trainer. So I asked him if he knew what they were. I'm like, what's this? And what's this? And he did. He was explaining to me what they were and how they worked. And so I'm like, okay, this guy is worth my attention. And so I asked him, are you a trainer? He said, yes. And I said, will you train me? So we started training together. And he's like, oh, you know, I have a bodybuilding team. What do you think about joining the bodybuilding team? I think you do good as on stage. And I'm like, no, no. I'm 51 years old. I'm not putting on a bikini. Definitely not in front of random people asking them to judge me against other women and tell me whether
Now
I'm
that you
good
put it
enough.
that way, that's an awkward thing.
Yeah, it sounds very awkward, but I continued working out, and then the more I got closer to it, I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And I loved having like that idea of the possibility that I could be on a stage
Or look like you could be on
yeah,
stage.
exactly.
More importantly,
exactly.
look like you could be on the stage.
Exactly. And so I thought that was like a really cool goal to have, because then it made me really focus on doing all the things and seeing how good I can get. And I actually ended up doing it. My first show, I didn't do very well. Oh, I came in second out of 2 people. There wasn't that many people.
She looked amazing. She's hard on herself. She looked amazing, but go ahead.
But then I went on to do a couple other shows, and I ended up winning like overall against women in their 20s in my division. And so it was actually pretty cool. And now I love the sport. And in addition to bodybuilding, we also do functional training as well.
Which is just as, if not more important. But go
Yeah.
ahead.
And so that was the other thing I loved about Coach Kijon, besides the chakras and the energy healing and all of that stuff. He also was able to jump over a box and do like really agile movements. And like he can move his body, he's very flexible, very fast, very quick. And so he was very athletic in addition to just being able to lift a lot of weight. Because we've all seen those guys. Yeah. You've all seen those guys, like they just can't move.
Hey, I represent that remark.
But you know, they just can't move. And so I didn't aspire to be like that. And Coach Kijon, those of you who don't know, he's 58 years old,
59.
almost 59. And he's like in the best shape that I've seen anybody.
I was a scholarship athlete. I played football in college. I'm in better shape now. I won Mr. America
Yeah, Mr. America right
in
here.
1996 at 26 years of age, and I'm in better shape now, pushing 60. And God willing, make it a 70, 80. I'm not going to lose my metabolism. And I will delve deep into that here as Dr. Michelle moves forward. But we got a lot of great information for you today.
And so, funny thing, like a little funny side note, yesterday we had a little workout here for my employees who are local to Panama City Beach here at my house, and we're training for something called the Spartan DECA, which is like a functional training, kind of like a CrossFit type event where you have 10 different stations where you do these different exercises. And Coach Kijon's son, who's very athletic, he does like calisthenics, he can do flips and all kinds of crazy stuff. He came. And I was just talking to my Jen, who's our sales manager, who was there working out with us, and I'm like, I wonder how he feels that his dad is at 58 years old is like kicking his ass and all of these exercises. But like, you know, he actually it's not something he normally does. He usually does different types of workouts, but it was just like very like eye-opening that at 68 years or 58 years old.
He's 20 years of age and has a six-pack and very, very fit. And what's great about health and fitness, just like in life, you get good at what you do.
Yeah.
And I started lifting at 12 and 13 and I just never stopped. And now I get the benefits of that.
Yeah.
But it's never too late. And that is the purpose of this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the reason why I'm doing this and the reason why we started the GlowFit program that we run at Glow Natural Wellness is because I couldn't believe the transformation that I got in such a short time.
Yes.
Just tweaking how I worked out and tweaking how I ate, but not actually taking away workout time and adding calories, which is crazy to me and totally against everything that society tells you, everything that I've been taught to believe, even as a doctor. And even when we first started, I'm like, ooh, that's not going to work for me because I do a lot of cardio and my body's used to that. And if I stop doing all that cardio, I'm going to get fat. And I didn't trust him. And so I would go do secret cardio in addition to the workouts until
my clients snitched on her. Hey, your new client running down the road, but she comes all fresh and ready to go. Tell them what you're doing.
Go home, take a shower,
and then come see me.
And then go to the gym. But after like he found out, then like we talked. I had a breakdown, of course. And then I realized I had to just trust the process. And that's when the transformation really took off.
Yes.
And so the reason why I'm telling you this, because I don't want just to have this for me. I want you guys to all have access to like the secret that nobody wants you to know almost. And it doesn't have to be hard. I know like a lot of times we'll get information from different sources. It's like, I got to do red light therapy. And I got to wear a weighted vest. And I got to eat 100 grams of protein. And I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do that. And it's like, I just can't do it all. It's like too much to do.
And a lot of it's conflicting.
Yes. Oh,
that's a caveat. It's conflicting. Now what do I do? Do I trust that guru or that guru? It's very conflicting.
And you go to a doctor. Usually if you're a midlife woman, you go to a doctor and you're like, I'm feeling tired. I'm gaining weight. I'm depressed, things are not doing well. They either want to, one, give you antidepressants, or two, they tell you to eat less and exercise more. You're usually overweight or out of shape doctor is they're telling you to eat less and exercise more. And that's kind of like the old like false way of doing things.
Yes.
Because what happens when you eat less and exercise more, Coach Kijon?
You go into a severe calorie deficit. And then what happens is your body will actually hold on to hold on to the fat, because you're starving yourself, And 1 pound of fat is 3,500 calories, and 1 pound of muscle is 3,500 calories. So now let's go ahead and create that deficit. Your body's like, oh my gosh, we got to hold on to fat because we need the reserves
Yeah.
of 3,500 calories per pound. So yeah, that's a no-no. That's
Yeah,
no
your
bueno.
body doesn't know the difference between you purposefully saying, I want to eat less and exercise more, or that you're in some type of crisis situation where you're running from villains or tigers or monsters and there's no food around. So your body wants to keep you alive as long as possible. And it has to do that by keeping your energy reserves on board, which is your fats.
Mm-hmm.
And know what's really expensive when it comes to energy is muscle.
Muscle.
Because muscle burns a lot of calories. So your body will be like, okay, we got to drop this muscle, hold on to this fat so we can keep Michelle alive as long as possible in this disaster situation. Your body doesn't know that you're just trying to lose weight. And then also on top of that, on top of us purposely restricting calories and trying to do more cardio, where we're dropping muscle and holding on to fat, as we age, as we go through just normal aging after age 30, we lose 8% of muscle mass per decade just because we're getting older.
Yes.
8% is a lot. So per decade. So 8 from 30 to 40, another 8, that's 16 from 40 to 50, another you're at 25% of your muscle by the time you're 60, which is insane.
Yes. And muscle mass is 100% your metabolism.
Yes.
She has more muscle mass in her early 50s than she did 20. Her metabolism is faster now than it's ever been. Myself pushing 60, my metabolism has not gone anywhere. It stays right where it is because of the muscle mass. And science will back me up on this. I've seen it 70s and 80s. If you're doing a progressive resistance training in a diet that supports muscle hypertrophy, you can build muscle, aka metabolism.
Yeah, and then when your metabolism's higher, energy's higher as well, because your metabolism is what's creating energy in your body.
Mhm.
Energy to breathe, energy to move, but also energy for your brain and just the ability to kind of be vibrant and do the things you want to do each day,
Mhm.
which is so important. And so, okay, we know it doesn't work. We know that eating less and exercising more doesn't work.
Yes.
But let's talk about what does work.
Mhm.
And one of the things that we did in my workouts is we cut the
Sorry, but we have Combo. He's on the
Okay.
panel.
Oh, yeah.
He's on the panel, so he'll kind of come in and out. He may meow. So just letting you know who
Yeah.
he is.
In case you have any feline questions.
Yeah, that's Combo.
What about catabolic?
Oh my God, catabolic. Can't make this stuff up. That was fun, Doc. That was funny.
Anyways, let's talk about. I'll go check the questions in a second.
No.
And yeah, Linda, this is for postmenopausal women, but also premenopausal women and really women of any age. But specifically, I am talking to women who are. I'm 51, so menopausal, and a lot of times the issue is we don't understand that strength training is so important for us as women who are older. It's not going to hurt us. It's not going to make us big and bulky, which we'll get to in a minute.
Mhm.
And it's going to support our bones. Our bones are deteriorating just as much as our muscles are as we age. And adding stress, adding weight training is going to make the bones feel like they have to build stronger. So you actually have that building of the bone quicker when you're doing strength training. Also helps with insulin resistance, also helps with flexibility, helps with blood sugar, helps with pretty much everything that we see declining in as we age. Strength training and eating properly will help to kind of navigate that and make it better.
Yes. Yes. Everyone watching this, I'm going to guess maybe the average age is what, 40, 50 years of age.
Yeah, I mean, my audience tends to be over 40.
Yeah. What we're trying to convey and express and educate in this webinar is how to recapture your energy, your strength. And in saying all that, as your body gets stronger, it can fight off disease and it can slow down aging. So this is applicable to every female, every person on the planet. So yes.
Yeah. So I want to talk about, I was lifting weights, right?
Mhm.
When we met, I just came from lifting weights. I went and did some pull-ups.
Yes.
what's different? And I know the answer because I was part of
You
it,
lived
but I
it.
want you to tell the audience what's different about how you helped me to learn to work out as opposed to how I was doing it before. Because I had, when I was 20, I was a certified personal trainer, so I knew how to exercise. I did Beachbody, I did, P90X and Insanity and Les Mills Body Pump, and I went to all the classes and stuff. So I've been lifting weights,
Mm.
I thought, properly my entire life,
Yes.
right? So how did that change so much?
I have a word. I mean, we've heard of resistance training, everybody watching this, but the main word that's not applied in there, and that would be progressive resistance. Let me explain. Most women that I've trained over my 35 years of working with men and women is most women would love to be able to do a push-up. I don't know the audience. But safe to say, most women would have a very hard time doing a traditional men push-up, not on your knees, but they would love to have the arms and the physique that would want being able to do a push-up. So here's where the problem is. And I'll go back to her original 3 sets of 12. A lot of you people may be working out with resistance training, doing 3 sets of 12. At the end of the day, the story I use is most of us have a scar in our body. Okay. So the scar tissue was an injury and the scar tissue grows back stronger and thicker so you can't rupture the skin there. What if I were to tell you that muscle hypertrophy is actually tearing down the muscle and then rebuilding with the food and rest, et cetera, et cetera? The reason why most people get zero results, and that's why she got zero results, or she maintained status quo, okay? As soon as we train, I said, okay, tell me dumbbell chest press, doc, in the supine position, when you lie on your back, 15 to 20 pounds for 12 reps. Now she's up to 40. So what I'm trying to say is most people in a resistance training program will never get the results because they're not progressing. It,
Mm.
I the one thing, because people look at me and say, "Oh, this is a guy who's going to tell me to lift heavy weights," has nothing to do with heavy weights. The secret is you want to get stronger. So if you're able to, as a female, do your body weight in a push-up, male push-up, I assure you, your strength in a dumbbell press is going to be way greater than someone who cannot do a female or male bench press. So the secret to resistance training is chart it and make sure that you're progressing. I don't care if it's just you don't do another rep than last time, but you can just hold it there for 5 seconds. That's how you build muscle. And I have to say this real quick. You don't build muscle in training in the gym or in a mountain climb or paddleboarding. What do you mean by that? What happens is just like the scar tissue, there's an injury there, and then the scar grows over time, accumulates, and the body heals itself. Muscle, what happens is every time I train Dr. Michelle, her body would be tight. You can feel the muscles. It's when she sleeps, rests, and eats perfectly, eats well to build muscle. We'll touch base here on that shortly. You actually build muscle, your metabolism, outside of the training,
Mm.
not during the training. So if you look at her physique, my physique, or anybody who's in shape, when you see a body that's very well built, it lives in a very uncomfortable environment. Not to the pain where you can't move or anything like that. You just got to slowly challenge yourself.
Yeah, and so and wait, there's different ways to increase like the progression and the intensity,
Yes.
right? So one is adding weight, but we don't always add weight.
Otherwise, you would be the strongest human being on the planet.
Or
You
something you might not have, or you might be by yourself.
don't feel comfortable
And you
going up
don't,
5 pounds.
yeah, exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. So what are some of the other ways that you use your TempoFlex?
Yeah, the TempoFlex, what's going on, let's just say, I'm just throwing out a number, that there's a female watching this and they, at their house or gym, they use 15-pound dumbbells and they're doing 3 sets of 12. And and they understand and they want to get stronger, but they don't feel comfortable grabbing the 20s yet, but they know that one day they need to get there. So what I would recommend, a couple things. The first one is if you're doing 15 pounds for 12, you should be able to strive to get 15. Once you get for 15 reps, go to 16, 18, 20, 20, 30. Sooner or later, when you dominate the 15 pounds for 20, 30 reps, the 20 pounders will not feel that heavy at
Mm,
all. It'll feel heavy at 15 for 12, but it won't feel heavy at 15 for 25, 30.
exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not about lifting heavy weights, it's about training to get stronger. Another one is TempoFlex, and there's a lot of techniques. Basically, what TempoFlex means in the range of motion, we'll stick with the dumbbell chest press. So let's just say I'm just using my weights and I'm going moderately heavy. I got 65 pounds. And so what happens is I'm capable of doing 20 reps and I want to get stronger, but 60 is all I got that day. So what I'll do on my 20th rep, and even though I can't do 21, I will just literally just hold it right there.
Mhm.
And as long as I can, it may be 5 seconds, it may be 30 seconds, but just me holding the weight after I could not complete a full repetition, now you're having time under tension. That's one. And one more is 1 1/4. So as I come down, I'll come up a quarter, I'll come down and go up all the way. So what's happening is when people do the dumbbell chest press, they usually get stuck in the bottom. So by doing the 1/4 and all the way up, you're building up the strength there. So there's a plethora of TempoFlex, but
Yes.
basically in a nutshell, TempoFlex is where you're taking the range of motion and you're going to isolate an aspect of that range to improve your strength in the weaker area.
Exactly. And by doing that, you actually force your body to build muscle because you're doing something that you can't actually do the last one, right? So your body knows it's like, okay, she's got this heavy thing that she's trying to push and she can't do it. So we got to get stronger in case this happens again, so
Yes.
she'll be able to do it. It's a survival thing in your body that your body will actually adapt to the circumstances you put it in. Now, before I was doing 3 sets of 12 that I could easily do,
Yes.
and I wasn't failing on the last one. I was just, okay, check box off. My body did not have to build any more muscle because I was able to do it. Once I started training with Coach Kijon, he had me do things that I couldn't do. My body had to adapt, and that's when the muscle growth happened.
Yes.
And the other thing that we did a lot that I thought was super helpful is if we were doing, let's say, an arm exercise, he would also have me like squeezing my glutes or flexing my quads. And so every time I was doing exercise, it was more of a whole body exercise.
Yes.
So I'm getting like double work while I'm doing arm exercise. I'm also getting, it's always leg day. Always just,
Never skip leg day.
and so I think that's super helpful. And then, when you're thinking about, well, should I do the cardio or should I do the resistance training? If I'm going to do the resistance training, should I go until failure? Should I do the TempoFlex? Should I go as hard as I can? Just know that studies show that like when you do resistance training to failure, especially as perimenopausal or menopausal women, your metabolic rate will increase 43% more than if you just did cardio. So 43% metabolic rate, that's nearly double. Like that is ridiculous.
Yes.
And that your metabolic rate is how many calories you burn at rest, right? So that determines how much you can eat and not gain weight.
Oh, I have to throw this in there. Whenever we first started, and when she got on board, we started getting results because she was on board, and then we dropped 2-3%. I was okay, doc, we're going to increase calories, and her eyes got big. Wait, why are we increasing calories? What we're doing is working. If anything, shouldn't we decrease calories? So this is something I want to make sure you hear. If I could sum up my 45 years of training, this would be it. It's the least amount of exercise needed to tear the muscle down, okay? And the most amount of good foods that you can eat. So what happens is now she started at 1,500 calories. Now she's up to 2,500.
Yeah.
So I would never, so remember this. As your metabolism, remember as a kid in your 20s, how fast your metabolism you can eat? That's A, what the goal is, and B, that is what is possible and probable if you have all the components of progressive resistance training, the proper nutrients of your diet.
Yes.
And most of all, we'll touch base more later. It's the mindset supersedes all this, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm excited.
No, I think that's actually a really good thing to talk about. Right
Oh
now.
my gosh, the mindset. Oh
Because
yes.
we talked about the training, right? But then the other component, you can't out train a bad diet, right? That you need to fuel your body. Your body needs the fuel, the building blocks to create the muscle and to fuel the metabolism and to help your skin and your hormones and all the things, right? So you're going to need your protein. You're going to need your healthy fats because fats are what make your joints lubricate and your skin healthy.
Yes.
Your hormones are made of, right? So we can't be afraid of fat. We have to consume healthy fat. And then you need some carbohydrates for energy as well and for nutrients and things like that. But I always tell people to focus on the protein, especially women. A lot of times we don't eat enough protein.
Yes.
And that can really inhibit our ability to build muscle, which can then inhibit our metabolism.
Yes.
Because your metabolism, again, in case you didn't catch it, the amount of muscle you have determines your metabolism.
Yes.
So if I'm 130, let's say I'm 130 pounds, and then I have another woman who's also 130 pounds.
That's right.
If I have a higher percent of muscle mass and lower body fat percentage to my 130 pounds, and she has a higher fat percentage and not very much muscle,
That's right.
I'm going to be able to eat so much more than her and maintain my weight because my metabolism, my basal metabolic rate is going to be way higher than someone who carries more body fat and less muscle.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so, and then that person, if we were to eat the same diet, she's going to gain weight and I'm probably going to lose weight.
Because, right.
And so that's what's super important.
And I think the reason why, whenever people, when they listen to me, talk, they're like, oh, I'm just going to eat all protein. That's no. What happens is for 35 years when I train people, I always would get the nutritional profile. And I can honestly, with the data that I have for 35 years of training, the average female, I'm just throwing this out there from my experience, this is my experience, they're eating 30 to 40 grams of protein a day. And this is people that are trying. Oh, I had 2 eggs, I had 5 ounces of chicken breast, and I had some Greek yogurt, all great stuff. But what I'm saying is that your body needs the reason why we lose our metabolism, as mentioned previously, 1 pound of muscle is 3,500 calories. If you're eating 0, 10, 20, 30, 40 grams, your body's going to use all the amino acids, and then the rest of it will take it from your muscle.
Yes.
That is why a typical 40, 50-year-old female has a way slower metabolism. And I promise you right now, for those that are watching this, is that just by increasing your protein, your body has to deal with the amino acids coming in through the mouth, and you'll actually save your metabolism by increasing your protein.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so important. So I thought I'm going to answer some questions coming in, but I did see Rebecca just asked, do you eat 1 gram of protein for every pound of ideal body weight? That's a great baseline, I think. If you work with Coach Kijon, he might dial it in a little further based on your body type and your goals. But for the baseline, I think that's a great standard. And she said for ideal body weight. So not if you're 300 pounds,
right?
You're not going to eat 300 grams of protein.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah. So if you're 300 pounds, but your ideal body weight is 150, then you're going to eat 150 grams of protein.
Yes. Yes.
It's whatever you would look the best at, or whatever you were in high school, or that kind of thing.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Awesome. So now we're talking about eating more protein. We're talking about building muscle. One question I always get is, well, but I don't want to get bigger.
Oh my
right?
gosh. Yeah. Let's dive into that one.
And there's actually a study that I also read, because I was reading some studies about body image and stuff, and 80% of girls who are 15 to 17 years old, their biggest fear is getting too big, is gaining weight or getting too big. That's one of their biggest fears. Not college, not their career, not getting assaulted in the alley, but their biggest fear is getting too big. And then when I talk to women, whenever I talk about bodybuilding or weight training or even eating more protein, I always hear, well, I don't want to get big. I don't want to get big muscle. I don't want to get bulky, big. Everyone feels like it's going to get big, but spoiler alert, I have way more muscle now, but I'm actually smaller physically. I take up less space than I did before I started, when I had less muscle. I look bigger in pictures. If you see me on a stage, bodybuilding, I'm flexing my muscles. You guys are like, oh my God, she's giant. But then you see me in person,
she's tiny.
And I'm tiny. I fit in my high school jeans. And I didn't fit in those before. So my waist is small, but I fit in a more compact package, because if you look at, if you go online and Google 1 pound of fat, what does that look like? It's giant. It's it looks like white and kind of giant. And then 1 pound of muscle, it's this big.
Fraction of
It's small. It's very compact. And so you actually get smaller.
Yes.
You get heavy, maybe a little heavier, denser, but smaller.
Yes.
Because the muscle is more compact. It takes up less space. So you don't have to worry about getting big and bulky. You know what makes you big and bulky? Eating cupcakes, not lifting weights.
Yeah. And I have to throw this fact out there. Working with people for 3.5 decades, I can honestly say on the average, I'm going to say the average female in her whole life can probably put on about 5 to 6 pounds of muscle total. I've been training since early 80s, And I'm a guy, and I'm 5'9", 200 pounds right now. I graduated high school 5'9", about 185. And when I started this, I wanted to get bigger. I wanted the biggest arms. I put on 15 pounds of muscle, and anybody that knows me knows that I don't miss a workout. I've not missed a workout in decades. I move a lot of weight. I'm very strong, but unless you're taking performance enhancing drugs and steroids,
Yeah.
it is.
It's true. Like if you go online, you see
Oh
like
yeah,
women bodybuilders or like
yes.
they're taking drugs. They're doing stuff to make them bigger. That is not natural.
So there is truth to that. Yeah, so a woman could, I've seen women that make me look small. Okay. But if you're doing this naturally, which you better be,
Yeah.
then you cannot build muscle. Like you cannot build over amount of muscle. That's never, I always told my clients and even told them, Dr. Michelle, how about we get your results as fast as we can? And once we get to the point where you're like, oh my gosh, too much muscle, we'll shut it down. Never had that conversation there.
Yeah, it's so true. And part of it might be like society's conditioning that women are supposed to be like small and quiet and not be seen and now like I think women should be strong and powerful, and there's no better way to feel strong, powerful, confident, energized than to have like muscle and to be like carry yourself with confidence. And I
Yeah.
think like it's kind of spilled over into all the other areas of my life
Yes.
because I feel more confident in my body. I feel strong. My posture is better. And it can't like even equate how much it's helped every area of my life to
Yes. Oh
have
my gosh,
like,
yeah.
the body composition and the strength and the metabolism and all the things.
And a little caveat, one of the viewers posted up, there are people out there that struggle and try so hard to add weight and get bigger.
Yeah,
Their struggle is just as real as people trying to lose weight.
absolutely.
So one thing that I've had, training tens, I mean, thousands of people over my lifetime is you get to see. I remember when Dr. Michelle mentioned this at the beginning of the webinar, that she had cellulite, and I remember her telling me, "I'll never get rid of it." And I
Yeah.
said, because I've been working out my whole
Yeah, I've
life.
been doing everything.
And I said to her, I said, with respect to your experience, I've known women older than you who can lose the body, the cellulite. And obviously it worked because I'm sitting here talking to you. But also, too, for people out there that are, 100 pounds, 110 pounds, trying to gain weight, it's the same struggle.
Yeah.
So we all have our challenges. And, building muscle, whether you're overweight or building muscle if you're underweight, is a proposition
Yeah.
that needs progressive resistance training and a diet that supports it and the mindset. I'm always going to go back to the mindset.
Yeah, and that's a huge part. The mindset is a huge part of it. A lot of times, like we don't know how strong we are. You guys, we don't know. You guys are more powerful than you can ever imagine, and the body can do some amazing things. Like for years, I thought that you couldn't get rid of cellulite.
Yeah.
Even as a doctor, I was told in medical school that like, cellulite is just something that people have.
Yeah.
And, some people just can't get rid of it. It's genetic.
Yes.
But my mom had cellulite. My mom was tiny. My mom was like 99 pounds and she had cellulite.
Yes.
So it's not because you're overweight. It's just lack of muscle and lack of like firmness to the skin and a lot of different things. Your connective tissue, but when you stretch it out with muscle, it smooths out.
Yes, yes.
And I didn't think it was possible that I don't have cellulite now, which is thank God.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we're here doing this. At the very least, when you leave here today, no, I don't care what age you're or what level of condition you are or are not, your body will improve the moment you take 10 deep breaths, go for a walk after drink more water, start moving your body. So we're going to touch a little bit more about mindset, but I'm going to tell you is that you are so capable and of great things more than you realize. And the moment that you start realizing it, in the beginning, she believed in me. And the magic occurred when she's like, I can really do this. And now, she's on the other side and we want to bring you guys there. So we're telling you, you can do this. You just got to make sure that you're doing the things that need to be done.
Yeah, and sometimes it means like being around other people who are doing it. I mean, for me, like I didn't believe it for myself. But Coach Kijon, he was just so adamant. Like he's like, yes, this is what's gonna happen.
Yes.
I know it. It's like gospel, like he didn't have, it wasn't like I kind of think it, I'm pretty sure. No, it's like I know, just do it, trust me. and you'll get that result. And so I'm like, well, what's the worst that can happen, right? And maybe I do it and I don't get the result and I go back to doing what I was doing before. But let me just see. And then it started working. Then I started like him believing in me, started making me believe in me.
Yes.
And then now I believe in me and now I believe in you, right? And so let me believe in you and let us help you and you'll get to where you want to go. And I just think it's like that's my goal is to help as many women feel confident, sexy, vibrant, powerful as possible. And we do that with our hormone programs, with our health and wellness programs, but this body image thing, it kind of encompasses everything. And when you're in a metabolic healthy state, that's actually better for your hormones. So your hormones actually work better when you're in a healthy metabolic state. When you're in a healthy metabolic state, your digestion works better, you sleep better, your bones are healthier, your skin looks better. Like everything kind of goes back to this. And to be honest, in every other program that we have, our hormone program, our gut health programs, or overall natural wellness programs, we tell you to exercise and we tell you to eat your protein, but we don't actually support you in doing that. And so that's what the GlowFit program is. It's the supports, it's the structure, it's the framework, it's the coaching, it's exactly what to do and how to do it. And then your cheerleaders to help you do it. And then the support to like, oh, I'm not sure I'm doing it right.
Yes.
And then you have someone to tell you, oh, yes, you're doing it right. Or no, change the way you're putting your foot and it's going to change the whole exercise. Or, oh, add this to your menu and it's going to change the way you look. And it's huge to have that type of back and forth support, which I don't know any other program on the planet that has a doctor and a master trainer together supporting people in doing that. And so for those of you who don't know, we have a program called GlowFit.
Yes.
It's complete workout programming for both home or at the gym. So if you don't have equipment, you just need dumbbells or bands at home and you can do all the workouts. Or if you go to a gym, we can design the workouts specifically for the gym for you. Full macro planning. So based on your goals, your current state of health and your body composition and where you want to go, we will pick out like how much protein, how much fat, how much carbohydrates that you should be eating, and then keep adjusting it as you progress. And then the mindset and the coaching, every week we get a coaching call. We have techniques that we go through. We have challenges that we do. And then there's 100% constant support. So if you're in the program and you have any struggles or you're not sure if you can do an exercise right, like Coach Kijon will have you send a video to him. He'll send you a video back. Kind of coach you on all that. And like, we're there to support you. And we've got so many amazing women who are getting amazing results. We've only had this program going for about 4 months now.
Yes.
And the results are incredible. Like lives have changed.
I got to throw this out there. I think most people could resonate with this. When we were younger and, we were accountable, to our coaches, our teachers, our parents, they were supporting us. Hey, I got to see you at practice or cheerleading practice or whatever it is that we were doing. The reason why our greatest accomplishments were usually when we were younger, is because we were accountable. So it's always good. And I know for me, one of the things that I've done, I've been competing since 1990 in fitness events. And I do that because that's my personal trainer. I need something larger than me going, put that back in the cabinet. You're not eating that tonight. Go to bed. You want to get up and do cardio. So what I'm trying to say is, if you've been out there and you've been struggling and you just can't stick to a program, maybe the accountability of joining the GlowFit program, the accountability is
it's amazing. Not just accountability from us, but the other members in the group.
Yes.
It's awesome because it's almost, you're right. Like when you were in high school,
oh my gosh,
you had a team and you like had the game that you had to practice for. And like when we're adults, like
nobody cares.
And especially as women, like we're taking care of everybody else. Like we don't have there's no one like accounting for us. Like who's like checking on us? Nobody, because we're checking on everybody else.
Yes.
And so let someone check on you. And it's just amazing because you get to see and you get to feel the results. Like we were just walking down the street and the couple came by and they're like, oh, you look amazing. And Coach Kijon said, I feel amazing. and that's the thing. It's not just about how you look,
No,
it's how you feel.
one of my favorite things to say is even if I didn't have the gift of vision, I would look exactly the same way. Has nothing to do, and it's about the way I feel. And I would, like I said, I'm going to continue doing this for the rest of my life, and has nothing to do with what I look like. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's nice to look good, but the way I feel like I'm a 20-year-old kid with the wisdom of a grandfather, and,
Yeah.
and that's a beautiful place to be.
Awesome. Yeah. And then also for those who are watching today or on the YouTube or the replay, we are offering 50% off the
Mhm.
Glow Fit program. So
Mhm.
the code is FIT, FIT 50. And so that will give you 50% off whether you want to do monthly. We have offers where you can go month to month. You can sign up for 6 months and you get a call with Coach Kijon or myself.
Mhm.
And then if you sign up for the year, you get 2 private calls with Coach Kijon or myself
Mhm.
as a little bonus.
Yes.
And then the price is slightly lower per month if you sign up for the year, but all 3 levels or all 3 commitment levels are 50% off for everyone watching.
And also, for those that may be on the fence, even in that 1 month, you will get a nutritional program based on where you are and where you're trying to go. We've probably done 100 videos. So what happens
Oh
is
yeah.
in your workout program, I'm a home person. On this day, you're doing lower body. You click it, and the exercise is aligned to us doing the
Yeah,
exercise.
showing you all the
So
tips.
if you learn anything, you will learn how to eat and learn how to do the exercises correctly. It's worth at least 1 month of it.
Oh yeah,
You
absolutely.
won't, yeah, you will not regret the information and knowledge that you'll get.
And you'd be surprised how many exercises you're probably doing incorrectly.
Oh my God,
It's based on like what
yeah.
you've learned from going to group fitness classes or doing like online or like video workout programs that I've always done. I was doing all these exercises wrong.
Yes.
Or not, I wouldn't say wrong, I'll say less
Less,
effectively.
yes, less effectively.
Yeah, because like you didn't even realize like what you're supposed to be feeling, and
Mhm.
then Coach Kijon was like, "Oh no, you just turn your elbow that
Or
way," or
step
you,
shoulder width.
yeah, and it's like a totally different exercise. So even just for that, for
Mhm.
learning how to properly do the exercises,
Mhm.
it's golden.
You know what? We can't do it today, but next time we do this, I want to be in a position where I can maybe show them just like a little tip on how to do a perfect lunge for glutes.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, the next time we do that, okay, because we're not in position to do that. But the reason why I bring up the lunge is like 99.999% of people do it wrong. And just by changing that, because people's like, I can't do it because it hurt my knees. We have saved a lot of knees in our GlowFit program because the first thing I say, okay, Lisa, send me the video. Lisa, your video, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely want to make it a little more informative. I definitely want to share it next time with you guys.
Exactly. Exactly. Awesome. All right. I'm gonna go to the Q&A now. Is there anything else you wanted to add about mindset before
Yes,
we go
yes.
into something else?
It's interesting. Probably my favorite part of the whole story that Dr. Michelle tells about our meeting, and it's exactly how it worked out. I own a smoothie shop, and she was doing pull-ups, so I run over there. And, whenever she saw the sound bowls and the vibration and meditations and, the divine purpose and all that, is like, I don't know, by the time you hit 50, you've had surgeries, you've had failures, you had disappointments, along with all the great stuff. Okay. I mean, I'm not a pessimist at all, but life can beat you down. And I don't know, in my world, I've trained, that's all I've done my whole life. I got certified in 1990 and I've been doing it ever since. I guess what I want to say about mindset, most people out there is like, wow, show me the miracle and I'll be the believer.
Mhm.
And the reason why this happened, the physique, is show me the believer and I'll show you the miracle. So what I'm saying is don't wait around for to see others happening through others. Watch what happens when you decide to become the miracle. All the things, perception, life is a perception. And I'm telling each and every one of you, the gift that you have and the strength that you have is your life lived and all the things that you went through. It was not for nothing. It was for something divine and purposeful, and that is where your strength is. And I'm telling you, I have no gifts other than, over my contemporaries and my peers. The only thing is like I choose to use my gifts, the same gifts that you have. And after this is over, I'm telling you, if you decide that that you want to get healthy and get off the medications and just have your energy back, that version of you exists. It's just a mindset. Step into it.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, we're gonna get to some questions, but before we do, few things I always hear. One, can I do this if I've never lifted weights before?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. A lot of people, they don't start something. It's like, oh, I'm not ready for that. To be honest with you, it's like the longest journey starts with the smallest step. So even just standing there and I would start moving your body and it'll just feel great.
Yeah.
That's all the more reason to start
Oh,
now. I don't care if
absolutely.
you're 70 years of age or watching this. I'm telling you, I've seen 70 and 80-year-olds just transform and
We
just,
amazing 78-year-olds in the group.
oh, I know, right?
Oh my God, like holy moly. Like some of them are like they just amaze me every day.
Yes, yes. And so the answer is yes. Even if you've never lifted a weight, remember the objective of not just a Glow Fit program, any program, anything that you're doing on your own, it's not about lifting heavy weights. It's about getting mentally stronger first, and that'll lead to getting physically stronger. And one more step, one more rep. It doesn't matter what you're doing, as long as you're moving forward, you're winning.
Absolutely. And then another thing is, well, I can't do this because I have hormone issues. I want to fix my hormone issues first.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that getting your body into the strongest state possible is
Oh.
going to make your hormone issues improve just alone. Like your body, when you have muscle, it makes more testosterone, your estrogen detox is better, your progesterone works better, all your hormones work better, and your cortisol will actually be in line because the way that we train in the GlowFit program is in a way specifically to not raise your cortisol and not to make it keep spiking, where it's going to make you increase belly fat and really hurt your other hormones. And so if you have hormonal issues, this is what you absolutely need to be doing. You need to get your metabolism right. You need to get your body composition in that state that's going to be helpful. Because if you don't, you're going to be going down the path of insulin resistance. You're going to be going down the path of low testosterone. You're going to be going down the path of all those exasperated hormone problems. So it's not like about getting your hormones fixed first. It's about getting your body right and also balancing your hormones. Like it's not one or the other.
Yes. And also too, I want to just touch base. I mean, your mindset, if you have stress and anxiety, it can cause physical manifestations in your body. I mean, everyone knows this. And so just by being positive and breathing fresh air and moving the body, it puts you in a happy mindset. And you have to know that your mindset and your joy or anxiety or distress has a huge impact on your hormones and your
Mhm.
quality of life. So just being positive and exercising, that's the fastest. What I love about training, and that's not to be it. Progressive resistance training. I go to the park,
Yeah.
so it doesn't have to.
So we haven't even gone to the gym in a few months. So we work out outside here. We'll ride our bikes and go to the park and do
Yes,
push-ups and lunges,
yes,
step ups on a bench, and all kinds of fun stuff.
yes, yes. So resistance training. Don't think, oh my God, to live my life in the gym. That is not the way it works. As
Yeah.
long as you're moving your body and you're challenging yourself to climb the little mountain a little faster or walk the block faster or practice your squats without hurting your knees, that is progressive resistance training. That's going to increase your metabolism and your mindset.
Awesome. All right. I'm going to go to the Q&A and then, oh, you want to answer that
Yeah,
first?
I want a question that comes through from now. Do you work with people with back pain? Pain prevents me from lifting heavier weights. I'm going to have to, the answer is absolutely yes. The reason why I jumped on that question is by the time you hit 50, all of us have some issues or injuries or distress. At the end of the day, what happens is in any program, let's say the GlowFit program, I always say don't let what you can't do prevent you from doing what you can do.
Mm.
So let's just say you have back pain. The first thing is you do not need to be doing standing over, doing bent over rows, but you can do everything supported. But in the interim, what happens is for those that out there say, I can't do it, my shoulder, my back, my knees, what happens is you train the parts that do not affect the injured parts, but we actively work on stretching and healing and strengthening your back pain. So if you said to me, hey, coach, I want to do this, but my back prevents me from doing 25% of the exercises.
Mhm.
We omit those, but then you're going to have a program to strengthen your lower back, your knees, and hips because, and Dr. Michelle knows I can't extend this arm over my shoulder right now because I have shoulder issues. But I got to tell you,
Yeah.
every other part of my body works extremely well while I'm rehabbing this. Okay, so
Yeah.
so like I said, there's always going to be something. You're never ready to undergo something life-changing. So just start and watch how things fall into place.
Yeah, exactly. With back pain, a lot of times strengthening your midsection, your
Oh,
core.
yes, you're carrying extra.
Yeah, strengthening your core will help support your back. And then, yeah, if you are carrying extra weight, then like getting that off can also be helpful.
Yes. So there's probably not too many people watching this that has zero issues.
Yeah, there's always gonna, I saw there was another question about pelvic floor issues, same
Yes.
thing. You might modify some of the exercises that are exasperating the pelvic floor issues, but then there's gonna be exercises that you're gonna add in that are going to support a stronger pelvic floor.
Yes.
And so, it is modifiable. That's why we have our base program, but then we have the support and the mentoring to modify the programs for each person individually.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, totally. All right, I'm gonna go over to the Q&A first because those people do the
Sure.
right thing, and then I'll go back to the chat to answer all the questions. So what extent will breast size reduce if I work on getting more muscular? This was a question that I had as well.
That's a good question.
So getting more muscular does not decrease your breast size, but losing body fat does. So when women, part of our body fat is our breast. So breast tissue is fat tissue mostly. So I will tell you that when I diet down for my bodybuilding competitions, my breasts do shrink. And then once I kind of get over the back after the competition and get back to normal, my breast size goes back to normal. And so yes, if you are like a C cup, you might be like a small C or a big B if you lose if you get down to 10% body fat.
Wait, yeah, which
most people are not going to do.
And you don't-
If
you don't need it.
Google a healthy beach body female, it's going to be 20% body fat, 20, 22.
And if you're going from 40 to 25%, yes, it's going to be noticeable, but you're not going to lose all.
Yeah,
all of it.
exactly. Yeah.
Because
So
that with my entire career, that's always been an issue. Like women, are I love my body, I feel amazing, but my chest got a little smaller.
Yeah, it was sad for me, but it went back to normal, and now I'm okay with it.
So we wish we could say, oh, you'll lose zero breast size.
It's all from your belly, none from your breast.
Oh, we
Lose
wish.
here, but
No.
here, you can't do that, and so it is fat tissue. So when you do reduce your body fat percentage drastically, you will lose some of your breasts. So hopefully that's not a detriment, but it's not the weight training that makes you lose your breasts. But I know that they're looking at the female bodybuilders that have no breasts at all. Yeah. And it's not because they're building muscle, it's because their body fat is so low, and probably because of the drugs that they're taking too.
Yes, and if you Google natural female bodybuilders, like back in the day, there's a totally different look. So please don't go by the ripped and they got the big implants. Don't go by that. Don't go by that, please.
Yeah, but you'll be okay if you're just going for health.
Yes.
You won't lose all your boobs, I promise. What are safe exercises to build muscle if you're 77 years old with extreme osteoporosis, including 2 recent pelvic fractures that may not have healed yet?
My question to that, at the end of the day, you're not in front of me and, I have no idea of your condition, but I would do supportive things, even if, I'm not sure if you can do, what your range of motion is in your lower body. The first thing is establish what can you do, what parts of your body move in a range of motion that does not hurt your hips, your pelvis. And start there. And from there on the parts that may, if you can't do a full squat, just even just standing up and holding on to something and bending your knees 1 inch, just to put a little bit of support, a little bit of resistance on your quads.
Yeah.
Everything is dependent on what you feel. Your body is a better gauge than all my years of experience. Okay. So if I tell somebody to squat all the way down, they're like, it hurts my knees when I get to this degree, don't go down there. So find your range of motion. And the direct answer to your question is any physical movement through a range of motion, and in time they can put a little bit of added resistance, is great exercise for you in that state of being.
Exactly. Yeah. And over time, as you get stronger,
you'll be able to add
the weight training is something that's going to reverse the osteoporosis and help to strengthen those bones.
Yes.
So, in hindsight, if we could have been on this call 30 years ago with you, then you may have not had the point of extreme osteoporosis. So those of people who are not there yet, weight training is the way to go. But the good news is your body is constantly turning over. Your cells are constantly renewing. So the cells you have today are not the same cells you're going to have in 2 years.
Right.
So this is not the end for you. Now that you're on this call, tells me that you're looking to improve yourself.
Yes.
So yes, do what you can now. Maybe it's a seated exercise. Maybe it's more machine exercises where you're locked into a place and you're just moving specific, like one isolated movements, I guess I'm trying to say.
Right.
And then as you heal, then you'll move to maybe more where you're doing two joint movements and you're more like standing up and you're supporting your own weight. But let yourself heal, of course, but just know that you can keep building and you can keep growing that bone tissue and get better from here.
And in my 33 and a half decades of training, obviously for my mature women clients, they go back and I've had so many people, their bone density, improve significantly with progressive resistance training. So you're on the right path. Trust me,
Absolutely.
you're on the right
And
path.
age is just a number. Like, don't worry that you're 77.
Nope.
Like, does not matter. It's the mindset and it's what you're doing every day with your body. Your cells are going to be brand new. They're baby cells. So your cells are the one. Okay, you'll like this one. I'm happy with my body, but
Cover it.
cover it. Oh, I cover it up due to crepey, saggy skin. Muscle mass is half of what it was. I'm age 60. I could cry. Oh, I'm sorry, Kelly. I'll cry with you. I was there. What are your suggestions for the crepey skin toning, not bulking?
Well, the first thing when I hear the bulking, you have to let that go. It's extreme. The human body, as we have seen with other people, can put on 100 pounds of fat and more. Okay. So bulking to me is putting on a lot of body fat. But if you're referring to bulking with muscle, absolutely impossible. There's no chance of bulking with muscle. Bulking with added body fat, that's a severe problem. Okay. So to answer your question, what can you do to fill out? By building muscle, you will actually fill out the skin. And also, too, this is really interesting with body fat. I'm not sure how many people know this, but how Dr. Michelle lost her body fat and how my clients in their 60s and 70s and 30s, 40s as well. So what happens is imagine a marble. You got a big marble the size of my fist, and you get a bunch of them in a garbage bag, those big black garbage bags, and you pull it really, really tight. Because of the size of the marble, it's going to create dimpling, yeah, in the bag. So now imagine what happens is now I get marbles the size of that little circle and put them in the bag and pull it nice and tight. Because of the fat cells or the marbles got smaller, the dimpling dissipates almost non-existent. So what I'm trying to say is keep doing your strength training, trying to get as much hypertrophy, a fancy word for adding muscle, get your diet on point. And between the two of adding hypertrophy or lean tissue and dropping the fat cells down, you'll fill that in. You'll feel that.
So when women think about like having like tone or shape, like curves or like the nice lines, like you want like your legs to look smooth and shapely, the shape is muscle. Like that's the shape.
Yes.
Like that's what gives you a hip, that's what gives you glutes, that's what gives you, and when you have a glute, it's gonna pull your leg skin up a little bit and like slit out. When you have hamstrings, it smooths out the back of your legs. That's why I had cellulite on like my butt and my like, hamstring area. Like that was really where I had a little bit on my quads too. But once I started building that muscle, it smoothed it out. And so you don't see it anymore. It might still be there, but it's not visible.
Yes, yes. Yeah, because you always have the same amount of fat cells. It's just, are they expanded or are they shrunken? Okay.
Yeah.
So please, for all the watching this, do not worry as a female, not doing performance enhancing drugs, which no one should be doing that.
Yeah, hopefully
you cannot bulk up excessively from muscle. It's impossible. From
if
fat.
you're eating a ton of food and lifting weights, you can bulk up.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But you'll be bulking up with fat, not muscle. Once again.
Absolutely.
Okay. So yes. So don't worry about bulking up. Get your diet on point. And like I said, on the Glow Fit program, we do tell you how many calories, how much protein, carbs, and fat to eat. So just to let you know.
Yeah. So don't worry, Kelly. If you get bulky, just lifting weights, then we will give your money back.
Oh, that's a deal. I'll take that deal.
Actually, you know what? I actually thought about doing this. Like, if anyone's on the fence of whether this is going to work or not, I would say if you join the program for 3 months
And you
and
follow.
you do all your workouts and you track them and you're tracking your macros and showing us what you're eating,
Yes.
and for some reason it's not working, I'll give you your money back.
No. Okay.
Just because
No.
I believe like I want this for everybody because I know how good it makes me feel.
Mhm.
Not just like when I look in the mirror, but just like it just makes me feel more confident.
Yes. Yes.
And for women, like when you're confident, you can take on the world. Like
Yeah.
no one can do anything
And,
that's gonna get in
and
line.
regardless of if it's this program or when you were younger getting your degree or whatever it is that
Mhm.
having raising your family, you were committed to it. And everyone watching this, you've had your brilliance and of things that you've done in your life, every one of us. But those were the times when you were 100% committed to it.
Mhm.
So I don't think you'll ever regret going, whether you're 40, 50, 60, 70, watching this, you know what, I want to commit to my health and fitness. It does not mean taking away from your family.
No, not at
No,
all.
it does not mean
It's
that.
actually giving to your family. You
Oh
don't
my
have to
gosh.
achieve for them. You'll be
Yeah.
able to play with your kids and your grandkids and have sex with your husband and do all the things that you want to do because I mean part of like having low metabolism is low libido and low energy and all that. So I mean it's really every area of your life that's going to
I read the
improve.
coolest quote the other day. It said, yes, you would die for your family, but would you get healthy for them? That really hit me.
Ooh.
That really hit me because I know I would die for my kids, but when it says, yeah, yes, you would die for your children, but would you get healthy for them?
Mm,
That was poignant. I mean, that really was like, whoa,
that's good.
I love that one.
I
Yeah.
love
So
that.
come
We
on,
put some
guys,
t-shirts.
let's do this. Get healthy for you and your family so you can be around. And the greatest gift that you can give your family is actually health. And
Mm.
I'm sure I'm a father and a grandfather. As long as your kids are happy and healthy, that's all that matters. And you have to show and live
Be the
that.
role model
Be
for
the
them,
role
right?
model. Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. All right, next question. She wants to know if we do this for men.
Oh my gosh. That is so cool. Who asked that?
Janice.
Yes, Janice, it's so funny that you bring that up because we have people that come that visit. Oh, by the way, don't let me lose track on that.
Yes.
We here live here in Panama City Beach, and we're sitting up here, and we have the Gulf of Mexico. Long story short, people come from the GlowFit program, and they train with us. We're going to have Muscle Beach here, but anyways,
Yes, well, that's part of being in the program. You have to come and work
oh
out.
yeah, yeah. Anyways, so to answer your question, a woman, one of the clients, brought her husband, and he's like, "I want to sign up." And he goes, "Do you have a men's program?" So yes, it's not official
Well,
yet.
it is official. It's just not on
It's
the
not
National
on.
Wellness
Yes,
website, but it's on the
yes.
app.
It's called Alpha State, and it's the umbrella of Glow Natural Wellness and Glow Fit and
It's
what.
all this. It's all the same principles as GlowFit, but
Mhm.
just for men, because the coaching calls are geared towards women in the
Yes,
GlowFit program, and they'll be geared towards men in the Alpha State program. So if you do have a husband or brother or a
yes,
man that's interested,
yes.
just reach out to Coach Kijon.
Yeah, because
Um,
I'm very obviously I love being here with the women, but I need to help my guys too. Just saying.
And we want our men to be healthy,
Oh my
right? We
God.
we can't just be healthy and have our
Oh
men
no,
sitting on the
no. That's
couch.
a whole nother conundrum is how do you get healthy and eat a certain way when your spouse is totally not on board?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a whole nother
Yeah, it's
conversation.
almost like we have to get them enrolled just so that we can do it. So we can get their support.
Right, right.
Okay, okay. Tanique says, what is the safest way if you're currently an overweight couch potato?
My answer is just start small. You have to set a goal. Okay. Say, okay, I want to start. I'm a couch potato, but Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I am committing to starting this program and doing this. You have to start somewhere. The last thing you want to do is go out and run a 5K. Okay. It's going to hurt bad.
Mhm.
The last thing you want to do is start lifting heavy weights and going like a madman. But at the end of the day, just like a person that wants to get a degree or make more money or have a better relationship, you can't stay on the couch. You know what I mean? You've got to
Yes.
start moving.
I would
So,
say joining like committing to a program or
mhm.
with support and mentorship would probably be the best thing
Yes.
for you.
And get
A
your closest
community.
friend and family
Yeah,
involved.
whoever's sitting on the couch next to you, they need
Yeah.
to be involved.
Yeah. That might be your husband if
It
you're
might be
married.
your cat, but
Yeah.
I don't
Oh
have
my
the
God.
cat program yet.
Yes. But at the end of the day, just get started because
Yeah.
I don't know. I always say this in my Zoom calls with the Glow Fit. we live our life as if we're guaranteed to wake up tomorrow, a year from now, 10 years from now. I'm not sure where I got this thought process or this belief system, but every day, if this is the last thing that I do on earth today, I'm enjoying my life. What I'm saying is, you're not guaranteed tomorrow. And if you really believe that, you would do everything. You would love deeper. You would be kinder. You would love yourself more. And that's what working out is, I just chose bodybuilding as that, oh, that's a big scary goal that I got to get ready for. And so you don't have to do a bodybuilding or running event, but do something, that's going to challenge you and inspires you. And it may be paddleboarding or doing a hike up Mount
Or
Rainier.
photo shooting
Or
or
yeah,
something. Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
But
Right.
yeah, absolutely. I would say, commit to something, just commit to something. And maybe it is a program, maybe it's our program, maybe it's a different program, but somewhere where you have support, somewhere you have community, somewhere where you have a plan or someone's actually like laying out for you what to do and how to do it safely. Because otherwise, if you just kind of just like randomly do stuff, it's
It's,
probably not going to be consistent.
it's like someone saying, I want to make
Yeah.
more money. How? I don't know. It's going to make more money. It's never happening.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to have a plan.
Like a clear plan with clear action steps each day to do.
Yeah, and not just for the person that just asked that question, but if any of this is resonating with you, everything happens. We had a lot of people sign up for this,
Yeah.
and so there's a part of you that knows you need to get healthier for yourself, number one, but for all your loved ones, and if you guys are parents, which I'm sure most of us are, or grandparents, this is the time. You're not, the time is running out per se. And I mean that in a positive way. You don't have all day.
Well, why not live every day to its fullest,
Yeah,
right?
because
Like
that's
get
all
the
you're
most
guaranteed.
out of every day and give the most that you can every day.
Yes, yes. And you won't regret it. I've regretted a lot of things in my life and working a lot, working out
It's a
every day,
different show.
working out and eating healthy and being positive and grateful and praying every day. That's the highlight of my life.
Awesome. All right. So next question similar. Hannah has a borderline gastroparesis and malabsorption due to MS, and she wants more, but it's a little bit painful. Totally get it. And like Coach Kijon always says, don't let what you can't do stop what you can. So you just still do what you can. You may not be able to do every movement. You may need to take longer rest breaks. You might need to stop and go to the bathroom in the middle of a workout, and that's okay. But do something. You can do upper body movements. You can do maybe leg presses. Maybe you can do bicep curls. You can change your diet where you're eating a little bit more protein. You're probably on a diet right now for your gut issues. So maybe you do leave the diet by itself for your healing diet. Maybe just up the protein a little bit to help with your muscle building. So yeah, I mean, don't let any like ailment, any label, any disease, any handicap, don't let anything stop you from getting better, because there's always someone who can do at least something. Even if you could just wiggle your finger, that's something. So don't let that stop you from moving forward. Not at all.
Sorry about that. Gallon of water is kicking my butt. Just have to be honest. Gallon of water is kicking my butt.
Water is really important. A lot of people don't drink enough water, especially I always used to drink water like before I went to the gym or like before my workout and after. And then Coach Kijon always used to make me like drink water in between sets. And it makes sense because you need water to burn fat. It's part of the fat burning
Every
process.
metabolic process.
Yeah.
And, I know some of you guys have been with Dr. Michelle in the program, but right before my eyes, her skin, her face, and, even myself pushing 6 years of age. And
Yeah.
I'm
You have
telling you,
great skin for
oh, I compete at the world level. I'm an IFBB pro and they have masters 60s, 70s, and 80s. And I see men and women from around the world. And I'm backstage going, excuse me, sir, ma'am, my name is such and such. How old are you, may I ask? Their skin, is just amazing. So remember, drink water.
But then some of them, the ones that do the drugs, their skin looks terrible.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking, not, yeah. It's funny with the PEDs, performance enhancing drugs, 20-year-olds look like they're 40.
Yeah, they look
50.
terrible.
So when you can tell when someone's natural, their skin is always nice. So for you guys out there who want great skin, because people always say, what do you put on your skin? And I'm like, water. But in all seriousness, drink a lot of water. That's a massive tip. I know you've heard that before, but you're underestimating how true it is.
Yeah,
Mhm.
true. Let's see. The next question says, what are your thoughts on the thermogenic diet as it pertains to health and fitness? On one hand, Chinese medicine says to give foods that warm the body, but then I hear drinking cold drinks or cold foods will cause the body to warm itself. How to make sense of this? Yeah, so there's different viewpoints in all different cultures, and there's a lot of different
Yes.
methodologies to health and there's like that what's the saying, there's many ways to skin a cat. I hate that saying, but there's
Sorry,
a lot
Combo. Sorry, Combo.
there's a lot of different ways to get to an end result. There is the thermogenic diet, or the thermic effect of food. At least like protein does take more calories to process than, like, for instance, carbs. So like when you're eating protein, the fact of metabolizing it burns like 20% of the calories that you're eating. So there's that. So eating protein is actually boosts, I guess it's more fat burning in that regard. Um, Warming and cooling foods, that's more not necessarily for fat loss per se, but it's more for like calming the body and like sometimes for digestion and stuff like that. There's some, I don't really know if there's actual real science behind drinking cold water. Your body has to heat it up. It's very minimal.
Yeah.
Like if you feel comfortable drinking warm water or room temperature water, you're not going to see any difference really.
Right, you're not right.
Right? It might be like a nanometer of fat or something. It's so like negligible that do what feels good for you. So like I like drinking cold water, but some other people I know, like they like drinking room temperature water or even warm water.
Mhm.
And so in the morning, I don't like super cold water though. In the morning when I first wake up, I drink either room temperature water or even warm water with lemon. And so listen to your body and what it wants, and don't worry so much about.
Yeah, and as we started off the earlier in the conversation, how there's so much conflicting information just coming from one person, one man's excuse journey. It's funny, whenever I started back in 1990, I was programmed, taught you have to eat 5 times a day, 6 times a day if you want to be a good bodybuilder. You got to the blah 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 blah. And I lived that truth for a long time.
Okay, because that was another question about food timing.
Okay. And well, this is a perfect answer. And so what happens is then, as of late, a couple years ago, I mean, recently, fasting it has become a massive topic. Anyway, so I was open later in years, like 30 years later, competing into looking into fasting. And I got to tell you, I think it's amazing and there's tremendous benefit from that. Something that I was not open to for the first 30 years of my life. So what I'm trying to say is that for the most part, I have a regular eating pattern.
And you still got great results eating multiple times a day, right?
Oh, phenomenal.
Yeah. So
But what I'm saying is, my palate, pomegranates, I learned about them a few years ago. They're like my favorite thing. Back in the 20s and 30s, I don't eat that pomegranate. So what I'm trying to say is your body will always communicate with you in a healthy way. Listen to it. If you're in the GlowFit program, we start off based on their body weight, et cetera, et cetera. So calories, carbs, protein, and fat. And the first thing I say after 7 to 10 days, let me know. Are you feeling stuffed? Are you starving?
yes.
So what happens is like we have to dial it in. So your body is a greater indicator. Listen, like, when you go to a doctor, if they're listening to, the first thing I would say is like, tell me about your lifestyle, as opposed to, here, take this medication.
Yeah, that's what the veterinarians do. They want to know like how your
You're-
dog's pooping, if he's laying down.
You get more information
You do.
from a vet than you do your own doctor. No one's asked me about my stools, but in all seriousness, listen to your body. And some days you may eat just twice a day, but you notice your normal pattern is 4 times. Do what works for you. As long as you're getting your macros, you're getting your protein, carbs, and fat. There is no you have to eat 4 times a day. You have to eat 1 meal a day. If someone tells you your body that you have to do it this way, I'm going to have to say that, they're very closed-minded, because the body adapts. Even my own body, who knows what's going to be like a year from now? The template will be the same, but there may be variations.
Yeah, it's interesting because you got great results eating 4 to 6 times a day. You got great results eating 2 times.
2 times a day, yes.
So it's just what fit in your lifestyle,
Yes.
what you preferred. It's not necessarily the right or the wrong way.
Well, whenever I was a younger trainer in my 20s and 30s, people would say to me, oh, I don't eat breakfast, and I would say, you have to eat breakfast. And then as I got older, then I come to realize it's like, oh, wait a minute, you know what? My body doesn't process it in the morning as it did 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is like some people prefer to train in the morning. Some people train, prefer to train after they've eaten a few times. What's better? Whatever you'll do consistently and makes you feel great. Where someone else says you have to, do it fast.
Yeah, and that's the wonderful thing about the way we do the
Yes,
programming,
it's
like the
individualized.
programming, individualized. Well, you don't have to eat
Hmm.
oatmeal in the morning.
If-
Like it's not like we're telling you have to eat this and this. No, you get to customize it to what you like.
Yes.
And like Coach Kijon said, like we might say, oh, for your height and weight and your body composition, this is the proteins, the fats, the carbs that we recommend. And then you might come back and be like, I couldn't eat it all. And then we'll be, okay, well, your metabolism must be slow right now, so we'll move it down a little bit. It's just important that it's customized to you and not you're not doing what like the dogma says.
Yeah, sure.
Just because someone said you have to eat 20 minutes after you work out.
Oh my gosh, yes. All the rules, yes.
And to be honest, like after you work out really hard, your gut becomes leaky, like your cell membranes open up a little bit. So it's actually better to wait a little bit after you work out to actually consume food because your gut becomes a little bit leaky. So it's actually contrary to like the whole like bro science, eat within 20 minutes.
Your body is the greatest tool that you have. If you listen to it,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I
We've
know.
got so far away, and you'll be able to listen to your body a lot better as you become healthier, as you become cleaner, as you get rid of like the crap and the smoking and the alcohol and the processed foods. That's the cleaner you are, the clearer you can communicate with your own body, I feel
Yeah,
like.
the connection.
Exactly.
For sure.
This is an interesting question. I'm
Yeah.
interested to hear your answer.
Sure.
So she says when the veins start to protrude or show in females or males when they work out, the veins in their arms show.
When you start to work out, okay.
Yeah, so like when you're working
Oh.
out, if you're like, how like you can kind of see like my vein right here where I didn't have that before.
Yeah.
Is that what does that mean? Like basically.
Well, to read her question, she says when a female or male works out their arms.
Yeah.
So what happens is, like right now, your body's distributing blood throughout the entire body. So if I were to start working my arms, you can just see my arms right now. So what's happening is the heart knows to pump more blood to that area. So what happens is, in order to do so, without getting too technical, you want to get oxygenated blood in there and you want to take out the lactic acid. So what happens is the veins will actually expand to get the job done more efficiently. And here's something that's really interesting, and you can see on my body. For when a person gets more fit, imagine that you need water and you've been walked across the desert and I give you a cup and I give you a straw like this big. Would you choose a straw this big or would you choose a straw this big? So what happens is, no, your blood pressure and everything goes down. The larger your capillaries and vessels are, every time my heart does a stroke, it just zooms through my body and back. And so so veins getting larger whenever you're working out and even at rest, because mine are like hoses. Don't worry, ladies. Don't worry, you will not get hoses.
Yeah, I have a little vein right here. You can kind of see it.
Oh, that's so cute.
Is it cute?
Oh my God. But what I'm trying to say is that's a natural byproduct of your body trying to become efficient at putting oxygenated blood into the area that you're working out and take the lactic acid out. And if you're consistent with it, your body will just naturally open up. That's, all the benefits of remember, oxygen and fat is just a horrible combination. Fat hates oxygen. And so whenever people are fit, their veins are so large because it's very efficient to get oxygenated blood. So it's a win-win.
Awesome.
Yep.
Good answer.
Uh-huh.
Okay, can one use any of the strategies at an older age to undo scar tissue in the muscle that naturally develops as we age if we never did muscle building exercises so that the muscle workouts we do now in our 60s result in even more muscle gain?
I don't understand. Can one use any strategies at older age to undo the scar tissue in the muscle that naturally occurs as we age? I don't understand that.
Yeah, I think she might be thinking of what you were saying about like when you build muscle, it's equates to when you equated it to a scar on your skin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you don't actually build scar tissue
Mhm.
naturally in
Yeah.
your muscle.
Right. The muscle just grows back thicker. I use the analogy of a scar because the muscle the muscle gets thicker to protect itself. So it's not like like a scar, because I have a massive scar like right there.
Mhm.
So I use that analogy because as my muscles gotten bigger and Dr. Michelle's have enlarged, basically the muscle fibers come back and they go back thicker
Yeah.
and stronger. So there is no scar tissue. I guess there is, it's called muscle, but
Yeah, but it's just not, you don't have to undo that. But the second part of your question, if you never did any muscle building exercises, if you start working out now in your 60s, you will gain muscle for sure.
I will say this. There's a rule of thumb in bodybuilding, and let me explain when I say bodybuilding. We are competitive bodybuilders. If you are working out with resistance training and eating healthy, you are building your body. So I think when people say oh, I'm not a bodybuilder. No, no. If you're building your body, it's a general term. Competitive bodybuilding is a whole different animal. But saying all that, they say in whoever they are, whenever you train for the first 3 years with consistency, your body can make significant improvements. I don't care if you're 18 years old, or I've started training people in their 70s, and I have
Mhm.
seen things that have blown me away at how strong a person can get. So don't equate strong with massive muscle sizes. I've competed in strongman competition, and I remember they call it farmer strength. There are guys
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh yeah, yeah. Farmer strength, like I would go to a competition, and I looked the part. People are like, oh, look at this guy. Then you would see somebody over there who weren't very muscular. They were just kind of fit. They lived on a farm. They would destroy me because they were so
Yeah,
strong.
they're used to doing those movements.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and they just have that leverage and stuff like that. So please don't equate getting stronger with massive muscles. That's
Mhm.
probably of all the things I said today, I want you women to know if you keep getting your body fat to get lower and lower, you will never, ever, ever, I promise, money back guarantee,
Yeah.
um, that you won't get bulky. Okay, so don't be
Yeah.
afraid of that.
Awesome. Yeah. But yes, there is that newbie gain. So if
Oh,
you've never
yeah,
lifted before and you start lifting now, you're gonna get some
yeah.
great
And that's
gains.
exactly what they call it. They call
Yeah.
them newbie gains.
I'm like, am I still getting newbie gains?
Yeah, I mean, well, she started training in like January, even though she was working out the whole time, and not to be rude, but she was going through the motions. Well, that's why you didn't change.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, 3 months later, I don't know, you just have a world-class physique. But
Yeah.
anyways,
What are your thoughts on creatine? And I'm unsure about it because it causes some people to maintain water or retain water. Yes, it does. So creatine can make you retain some water. So if that's like a sticking point for you, if you're worried about that, if it freaks you out, then creatine might not be right for you. But creatine has been researched for a lot of great benefits, from brain health to muscle development to metabolism. They're doing a lot of research on it for a lot of different ailments. So it is a really good, even like a workout enhancer. I take creatine sometimes. I'm not taking it right now. I'll go back and forth. So it's not, I like creatine
mhm.
as long as you're using a clean brand, but it can make you retain some water. So it's not a bad thing necessarily to have a little extra water on you, but if you're gonna freak out when you step on a scale that you're 4 pounds heavier, then maybe
And,
don't.
and I'm with her, so I know when she's on period. And visibly to look at her, you would never know.
Yeah,
So don't think like, oh, I'm gonna like blow up like
it's
the.
not gonna make you look
No, you're
great.
not gonna be like the
Yeah,
Michelin man. And creatine is safe, and it's been documented and studied.
especially for menopausal
It
women
creates the
for
ATP,
brain health.
yeah, to help to help train. So, in my opinion, it's safe enough if you want to try it. I don't think it's going to hurt, and I think you could get some benefits from it because
Yeah,
she loves it, and I support that.
yeah. So just make sure when you get one, like look at the ingredients that there's not like any crap in there. That's my only. What are the best proteins for someone who eats dairy, meats, chicken, etc.? Or for someone who doesn't, I think you meant to say doesn't, because you want plant-based, right? Kelly. So if you wrote someone who does eat, but I think you meant doesn't eat any of those
That's
things.
how we're going to answer the
Yeah, so
question.
I'm gonna answer that question. I would say Truvani is a good brand, Organifi is a good brand for protein powder. If you're talking about like foods, you're gonna have to combine foods to make a complete protein most of the time. So I would say like There's this great, I forgot the brand, but it's a edamame pasta that has like 44 grams of protein per serving, which is amazing. So you can do like legumes, you can do like tofu or tempeh. What else is a good protein? Like nuts. You're always going to get extra carbs and you're always going to get extra calories with your protein. So it's a little bit harder. It can be done.
Yes.
You just have to be very anal about like planning your foods so you get complete proteins and you get all the protein you need.
Yes, yes. And also too, just for your own reference, Google bioavailability of proteins. In a nutshell, what that means is like all proteins are not created equal. So what
True.
happens is you can have let's just say the whole egg, which is BV, bioavailability of 100, and then I'm just picking one up, tempeh, whatever. So what happens is your body absorbs the protein intracellularly way more effective.
Yeah.
So for everybody watching this, a little bit of information. If you do bioavailability of proteins, like the glycemic index tells you the sugar content of foods and how fast they release insulin. So those are two things to educate yourself. The glycemic index of carbohydrates and the bioavailability of protein. That's some great education for you guys.
Yeah,
That
that's
you,
really good.
yeah, moving forward. So that way you know, oh, if I eat these proteins, I may not like all these proteins, but I'm going to pick this one because of the bioavailability. It's how well your body absorbs the nutrients.
Yeah, but
Good
for most of
information.
my plant-based clients, I usually recommend like supplementing with a high quality protein powder just to get enough protein.
Yeah,
It's a little hard to do if you're completely plant-based.
yeah.
You don't eat any fish or anything.
And to reiterate one more time is that protein is the basis of muscle. Muscle is your metabolism. And so we're not saying it has to be all of it, but I'm gonna go ahead on record right now and say it should be minimum at least 30% of your total caloric intake. However, most of the time, like I said, it's been usually around 10 to 15%. And
Yeah.
that's where it's failing everybody, women and men.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, so Teresa, it's not impossible to do it as a vegan. It's a little bit more, it takes a little bit more planning on the food part, just
It
to
can
make
be.
sure that you're getting everything that you need.
Mhm.
But it can be done. And like I said, there's like tempeh, there's nuts and seeds, there's legumes, there's like things like chia seeds and stuff like that, pea protein, hemp protein. There's a lot of different sources of protein that you can get. You just have to be smart about it.
Yeah.
And like I said, supplementing with a protein powder, if it's clean, is probably the best thing you can do in addition to eating your whole real foods.
Yeah, just add, with this whole Zoom call here, webinar, is increasing your protein will help you guys immediately, like starting today. You'll help prevent the cannibalization of your own muscles.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
How important is creatine? Creatine is an add-on. If you want to add it on, it's not necessary to build muscle, burn fat, increase your metabolism, to do any things we talked about today. You do not need to use creatine. Can it help? Can it give you a little edge or little, like, I don't know, cheat or something? Yeah, it can also help. I mean, if you're someone who likes to take supplements, but like you don't have to take supplements to do any of this. Whole real food, clean water,
Oh,
sleep,
yeah.
exercise.
Yeah, just real quickly, my whole life I've used supplements, but I'm telling you right now that if God's sunlight touches it, it's meant for your body. Anything that's rolling down a conveyor belt made in a warehouse is secondary. Do I use supplements? I do because I'm trying to get 200, I got to get about 200 grams of protein every day. I just can't eat that much. But I would not think for a moment, oh yeah, the protein powders. No, I do it because I can't eat enough. Okay.
Yeah.
So whole foods is always the answer.
Yeah. And then as far as like other supplements, like, yeah, I'll take a multivitamin or a fish oil and stuff like that, but you don't need to take any supplements. Absolutely.
If you have a
You
balanced
just-
diet.
Yeah,
Yes.
if you're really eating like what you need to be eating, you're drinking your water and getting your sleep, you're doing your workouts, you're going outside, getting some fresh air, some vitamin D in the sun. You don't really need supplements. You can add them on to help support. Supplements are supplemental to your plan. So it's a supplement to your plan. It's not the plan, if that makes sense. can you post a replay? Yes, this is actually live streaming on YouTube, so it's going to be available immediately after this on YouTube, and then we will send the replay out with an email with all the links and everything as well.
My email on Glow Wellness, can we put that up there somehow?
Yeah, so it's just Kijon at glownaturalwellness.com if people want to email.
Yeah, because we've had
Kijon
a few with the males. I would love to talk to your husbands or any male, males in your lives about that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, reach out to me for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. We can post a link to the office date too.
Okay, yeah.
Does metabolism help hypothyroid symptoms, fatigue, cold extremities? Age is 64, 153 pounds. So yes, absolutely. Will definitely help. Now, if you do have like a thyroid issue where your thyroid is not operating properly, you might need to support that as well. So it's not going to fix a thyroid issue, but it will definitely improve the symptoms of low thyroid. That makes sense.
Yes.
So for instance, I had Hashimoto's thyroiditis my entire life. I didn't know it. So it was undiagnosed. And so I lost like a third of my thyroid. So I do take thyroid medicine because of that reason, because I don't have my whole thyroid. So no matter how much I work out, I'm never going to get my whole thyroid back. And so I do have to supplement with some thyroid medication. Let's see. If cellulite is on your thighs, you want to do weightlifting exercises with your legs.
The answer is to get the cellulite to dissipate, it's going to be a total caloric deficit. So you can't spot reduce. As your body fat drops as a whole, the cellulite on your legs or wherever body part you may have will dissipate. Okay. So it's not an exercise.
But doing the leg exercises will build that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh,
and bump out the
yeah.
skin
I'll say this right now. If you had to pick one exercise, if you would say, Coach, I got time for one exercise to cover all my bases, my heart, my lungs, my strength, it would be squats.
Yeah, because your legs and glutes are your biggest muscles in your body.
Yes,
so they take the most oxygen and it's the most like cardiovascular of all the different body parts. So yes, you'll burn more fat.
And guys, I'm throwing this out there. I haven't even asked her. Next time we do this again, I'm going to actually have a little segment where I'm going to actually do a few exercises for squats and lunges.
Okay, I thought you were going to say you were going to show a picture of like the back of my legs.
Oh my God, no.
Like, no.
No, I'm going to make sure on the next one, guys, is that
they're out there.
I'm going to actually go through some of the exercises. I have a lot of amazing tips. The number one is saving your knees, okay? Because that's the number one thing I do with GlowFit is I watch videos of the members there, and they're always hurting their knees. So yes, do your squats, but make sure your nutrition is on point and your body fat. You can't target it, but yes, working the muscle will definitely help that area as well.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Do you work with anyone with back pains?
Everybody. No, Danielle, I swear that's just a common thing is in lower back pain.
And a lot of it is from us doing the exercises wrong.
Yes. And two things, the exercises improperly, not pulling your stomach in, supporting your lumbar, and also carrying additional weight up there. As fit as I am, you have those vests. I put a 20-pound vest and I just walk up and down the street. I'm like, oh my God, my feet hurt, my back hurt. So you're getting the weight off, making sure that your height, weight appropriate, and strengthening your core and make sure you're doing the exercise correctly. So yes, that's probably the number one thing that I dealt with. No, back and knees. Those are everybody has back or knees and or both.
Absolutely, yeah. So yes, we got you covered for sure. I want my husband to join GlowFit as it's for men too.
Janae, Janae, it's called Alpha State. It'll be the same profile. However, it'll be we'll do my own WhatsApp group and stuff like that. However, the exercises, how she does reverse lunges is exactly how.
Yeah, exercises are going to be the same. The nutrition is going to be the same mostly. But the coaching calls and the additional like support, the group, that will be different because it'll be geared towards men. So we talked about dude stuff. Instead of like breast size.
Well, guys don't talk about breast size.
No, you guys lie.
I think you're mistaken. That's what.
I don't know what kind of group you're running over there. Let's see. How do you know the extent to which, how can you know the extent to which they are overweight or underweight? Okay, I heard BMI is unreliable. Absolutely.
Yes.
Unsure how to be spot on the hip to waist ratio composition analysis and body composition analysis from bioelectric impedance analysis or DEXA. How would you rank these methods? Okay, that's a great question.
Mhm. Oh, what's the word they use? Oh, BMI, by body mass index. I'm 35 pounds overweight. Just so you
Yeah,
know.
BMI is your height to weight. It
Yeah.
has no, doesn't care if you have muscle or fat. And so it doesn't make, if someone's like muscular, like Coach Kijon, it doesn't know the difference between whether he's
Yeah.
carrying muscle
So
or
do
fat.
not go by the
BMI
BMI.
is fat.
Yeah, do not go by the BMI. As far as how can I say this? We all have genetic structures, your clavicles, your pelvis width. So nobody can tell you what looks good on you. But as a general rule of thumb, this is just a man's opinion, and Doc can tell her opinion. But usually for females, you can have 10 females at 25% body fat, and they're all going to have a different, beautiful shape.
Different shape, yes.
Okay, so that's genetic. But if you were to ask me what would be a great healthy body fat, anywhere in the 20s, and then athletic is going to be in the high teens, a little bit down. If you can get into the 20s, 28, 27, 26, 25, you're going to look beautiful. That's just my opinion. What's your thoughts on body fat for women?
I think like mid to low 20s, I think is what most women want. What's healthy is anywhere in the 20s.
Yes, yes.
But most women don't want just healthy. We want to be like hot, I guess you want to say. Like we want to be usually a little bit sleeker than what's considered healthy.
Yes.
So I think most women watching this would like to be in the 22
Yeah.
ballpark. If you're super athletic, then you're going to be in the teens.
Yes, yes. And from my experience, I'm going to have to say, definitely breaking under 30% is a very, very healthy. And then from there, you could say, you know what? I look really good at 28%, but what if I get down to 22? And I don't care what age you are, with time and consistency and a proper program, you guys can get into the 20s. I promise you.
Absolutely.
I promise you.
And
You
that's the
deserve
best
it.
place to be.
Yeah,
too.
you deserve to be there.
And then as far as like we really like a DEXA or more accessible, there's something called InBody, InBody.
Mhm.
And those are available at a lot of like nutrition shops, gyms, um, sometimes little like health centers. And so there you can go online inbody.com and you can look to see like where the one is near you. Here in Panama City Beach is a nutrition shop that has one, and they don't even charge you to do it. You just go in there and you hold on to these handles and you step on the scale. It does your weight, and then it measures your body fat percentage. And it actually measures how much muscle you have like in each arm and each leg and your trunk. And you can see like how you're doing basically. It's not like 100% accurate. I would say the most accurate is where they put you underwater and they do that. Yeah, that
Yeah,
one.
but most people don't have
But
it.
no one's gonna do that.
I've never done a 100 step my whole life. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then Dex is really good too, but a lot of times that's people have to pay like $100 or $200.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that.
The InBody, if you Google InBody near me, you should have it, and they're reasonably priced. And
Yeah.
oh, you know what? If anybody goes the InBody, take a picture of it and send it to me at Kijon at glownaturalwellness.com. Correct?
Oh, you got it right. It's Kijon.
I will take a look at it and I'll give you a free evaluation. Okay?
Very cool.
I know, right?
What do you think of protein powders like a scent to help with getting the required amount of protein? I'm not familiar with that particular one, but we just mentioned you probably asked this question before we said it. But yes, especially if you're vegan or if you're just not able to get enough food, Coach Kijon said that he can't get all the time 250 grams of protein in a day because he'd just be eating nonstop and just like, what are you doing? I'm eating. What are you doing? I'm eating.
I'm a professional eater of protein.
So he'll use protein powder to get those. It's easy to get like 50 grams of protein in a cup and drink it.
Yeah.
So yes, you can definitely do that. I would not rely on that as your main source of protein. So I wouldn't say like drink 4 protein shakes and now you're done. Because that's not whole real food and you're not getting all the other great nutrients, the zinc, the iron, all the things that you need from that food as well. Okay, I joined the Healthy Hormone Club a few days ago. Oh, welcome, Michelle. 68 and overweight with no hormones due to hysterectomy in 2011. I need to have more energy. How do I find out the cost of the GlowFit program? Awesome. Well, we'd love to have you in GlowFit.
Yes.
You're on the right track. There's nothing better than balancing your hormones and getting fit at the same time. I'll put the link in the chat, but you can go to glownaturalwellness.com. You can select shop, and then you can shop by concern. If you pick weight, then it's going to pop up as GlowFit, but I will go ahead and put the link down below. And then the cost of the program, it's discounted by 50% right now. If you use FIT, FIT 50. We have different ways you can join. You can join month to month. You can join a 6-month package, or you can join a 1-year package. The 6-month and 1 year come with additional private calls. And then it's roughly around like $199 a month, in that ballpark.
And I'll just say this right now, since we're getting the questions about the GlowFit, in body near me, because and take a picture of it and send that to me, so that way we're getting this program up and running ASAP. And nothing's better than having a in-body test or DEXA for those that have DEXA, then I'll know how to dial you in really quickly. Okay, so just kind of, if you guys are contemplating, even if you don't join the GlowFit, go get that done so you know where you stand.
Yeah.
It'll tell you how many pounds of muscle and how many pounds of fat on your body. That's what you want to see, and it tells you your basal metabolic rate. So for those that are joining the GlowFit program, which I'm excited about, get the InBody or DEXA, take a picture, send it to me, and we'll get you started ASAP.
Yeah, and that's how we are in the program. Like, what are you doing? Send it to us. We'll look at it and give you what you need to do. And it also, you get that open invitation to come work out with us here in Panama City Beach. And also, whenever we travel, we're always like, we're going to Pittsburgh. Who's in Pittsburgh? We're going here.
Tell them about Austin, Texas.
Do you want me to invite them all to Austin?
Just tell them about Austin, Texas.
So on August 9th, we are going to Austin, Texas with most of my team, my Glow Natural Wellness team, at least my management team and my local people here at Panama City Beach. A few of our GlowFit members are joining us. Yep. And we are doing something called the DECA Strong.
DEKA.
And what it is it's fitness challenge where you have 10 different stations. There's a rowing machine, there's an air bike, there's a, what do you call it? Ski machine. There's a farmer carry where you're holding dumbbells and walking. There's reverse lunges, burpees, sit-ups. And so you have to do each of these stations as fast as you can. We're doing it as teams. So 2 people are sharing the work. And it's going to be a whole lot of fun. So if anyone is in the Austin, Texas area,
and come down and watch and meet us and talk, I'm inviting.
Do it with us.
Oh, do it with us.
And we'll coach you on.
But I'm inviting you guys. If you happen to be in the Austin, Texas area, I would love to meet you. And if we have enough people, I will take time and maybe do like a little seminar.
Oh, yeah, we can do like a little workout.
So anyway, just throwing out last minute stuff but beyond her knowledge here. I get no approval. Just come and join me. What? We're inviting everybody. You're invited.
Yeah, you're all invited. Let's see. It's CrossFit work for the exercise side of things.
Does. The one thing, and what I love about CrossFit is the culture. They're very supportive usually. However, please be careful with the workout of the day. It's very time oriented. My concern as a trainer and as an athlete myself is people's form breaking down. But I gotta tell you something. And it's an all-over workout, and they hit all the body parts, cardio, strength. Please be careful with the speed of the repetition and make sure that your form's on point more so than getting it through at a certain time.
Yeah,
that's my only concern.
Like I love CrossFit. I used to do CrossFit all the time. I actually did like the CrossFit Games and all that stuff. It was a lot of fun, but the one thing that they do stress like going fast over doing like really like squeezing and the proper form. So it's a little bit different. You're not going to be doing like the different holds and TempoFlex and different stuff like that. So you'll be missing out on that kind of thing, but you still are getting a lot of
okay, now that's totally different now. Understand, because it's a great program, okay? But like knee flexion, you have your thigh extension, but it's very hard to do knee flexion in any movement. You know what I mean? Besides a gym or a leg curl or a band. So in a proper program, you're doing athletic stuff, whether it be DECA or CrossFit, but you still need to work every joint through a range of motion. That's how you're going to lift your rear end. And DECA and CrossFit and all the other wonderful things aren't specific to enhancing every muscle group. So if you want to
Yeah.
raise your rear end and firm up your hamstrings, you're going to have to do body specific joint manipulation.
Yeah, because in CrossFit you're doing the Olympic lifts, but you're not really doing much else, really. You're not doing
Yes.
like isolation moves or anything like that. So you're limited on what you're going to build, but it's still great because there are like total body movements.
Yeah, at the end of the
Yeah.
day, if
Yeah,
you're
if
moving,
you
if
love
you're
CrossFit, keep doing
moving
it.
and being healthy, we support that.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Just be safe.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
How can this program benefit me with injuries like bulging disc, low back, sciatica, and disc issues in the neck?
The answer to that is, how can I say this? It always goes back to you're in this situation and there's a lot of things you can't do. But a year from now, there's going to be even less things you can't do. So what I'm saying is safely get started somewhere. It may just be walking, and maybe of the program, you can only do a few exercises for the first week, second week, third week.
Mhm.
And then in time, as your body gets stronger, and it will, because
Yeah.
you want to have the mindset, the proper foods, and oxygenated blood moving through
Oh,
there,
yeah.
and it will dissipate. I cannot sit here and tell you, oh, those will all disappear, but I will tell you you'll be in a much better position a month from now than you are today.
Absolutely.
That's all
Yeah.
that's all I got.
Getting the blood flow going through, I mean, that's so healing.
Mhm.
The worst thing you can do with injuries like that is sit
Just
and
do
not do
nothing.
anything. Like
Yeah.
that is like a guarantee to keep going down, right? Like when doctors say that like you have this condition and it's going to continue to get worse, that's if you sit there and do nothing.
Mhm.
If you do things like you were told your knee, right, would never
Oh,
get
no,
better.
no, no,
Like
Mike. Oh, I
yeah.
snapped my Achilles tendon. They had to reattach it. And, the doctor's like, hey, you'll get some of it back, but it's never going to be the same. I'm like, thanks, doc, for that. But at the end of the day, this is me. I would not recommend other people, but I remember calling my buddies at the gym, hey, I'm coming to the gym on Saturday. Like, you just had surgery Tuesday. I'm like, yeah, on my left ankle. You can lift me up and I can do pull-ups. My arms are
Yeah.
fine. But that's just my mindset. And my calf, you would never even know that I had a Achilles
Yeah.
tendon
Yeah.
rupture. I'm not saying that go out there and disregard your low
No,
back and side.
absolutely
I'm not
not.
saying that. But what I'm saying is, even if you just sit there and just get the blood flow, your positive mindset will put you moving forward, and that's where it starts. So don't do
Yeah.
nothing, do what you can, and I promise you, in the months to come, what you can do will become more.
Yeah, we just added that isometric workout to the GlowFit program
Oh,
where you're
yeah,
not
yeah.
even moving, you're just flexing your muscles, and that's a great
You
workout.
know what? The next time we do this again, I want to do some isometrics too.
All right. Oh, we're
We're
doing
doing a
lot of the
workout next
one.
time.
Next
So,
time we'll do a live workout on YouTube.
okay, yeah, yeah. So,
Let's see. It'd be great for coaches like you to approach Senator Kennedy to try to get funds to help some low-income people who wouldn't be able to otherwise afford it. We actually were doing a lot things similar to that. I just founded glowgiver.org, which is a nonprofit. And so basically to help women and children who don't have resources. So some of it could be going towards fitness as well. But we do a lot of free workouts and things like that. So on Instagram, we do workouts and we're going to start doing some free workouts on YouTube. So keep following me. You will get fitness advice and support and things to do. Every week in my newsletter, I do healthy recipes. So you can piece those together and make your own meal plan. We do a lot of free stuff to support. So don't worry if you can't afford the program. Just follow along and you'll get some support.
and there, I know it's an anonymous attendee, and what I want to say to you is this: like, how can I say this? Like, what you authentically want, you'll see. Like my life, your life, our lives. It's like if you really, really want something, the doors will magically open. Just keep staying true to that, okay? And
Yes.
even in the video, we'll do some live workouts, but don't let not having access to this person, place, or thing be the reason why you don't do something.
Absolutely.
You doing something in anything, after dinner every night, go for a walk. Watch the doors that'll open, okay?
Absolutely. Yeah. If you go right now on my Instagram, actually, Dr. Michelle Sands on Instagram, you can scroll back and we have like 4 or 5, maybe even more workouts that we've done on there. So that could be your plan right there. You will get stronger, you will get fitter.
Yes.
So just start there, if nothing else.
Yeah. I hate to say this old cliche, but it is so true. Like, where there's a will, there's a way. If you have the will, the way will come, I promise you.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Beautiful. All right, let's see. We're getting through.
Uh,
All right, rotator cuff surgery in 2016. Same answer, pretty much.
yeah.
Yeah,
For me, because I'm having shoulder issues, as mentioned, grabbing a light bell and just doing circles. Do what you can to improve. Don't do the things that hurt you, and the rest of your body's 100% works that. It'll have an indirect effect on the issue that you have.
absolutely. So there's a similar one. She said a decade ago, my arm was actually twisted by somebody dislocating her shoulder, and she dislocated her shoulder a few times. I feel the muscle strands, tendons, and everything else in there not in the natural place. And so she's concerned that she starts to build muscle on top of this like improper foundation. Will it make it worse for her?
You know,
Exactly.
I personally, and actually, I just got the some X-rays done on my shoulder because I've had rotator cuff issues for a long time. I have no idea why I did not go get it looked at. At the end of the,
It took me to be like, why don't we get that checked out?
but I personally, if you're in a position, please go get that checked out first.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this, like I just physically can't put my arm above my head, but I can do front raises, I can do side lateral raises. So my answer would be go ahead and do the things that cause you no pain. And in the meantime, you probably should get a proper professional diagnosis. That way you're not adding to the injury.
Yeah, I would say that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
But you would be surprised, like Coach Kijon can't do overhead presses. And so we work out, and sometimes I'll do overhead press and he'll do something else. And so it's not that he's like, oh, can't work out
Oh my gosh.
because I got a shoulder injury and shoulder day. So it's about like when there's a will, there's a way. Finding what works for you, not doing things that hurt you, because that's your body's sending you a message saying, don't do that. So, but I want to say the difference between causing yourself pain and feeling soreness, right? It's two different things.
Yes.
So it's okay to push past a little bit of discomfort, but actual pain you don't want to do.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you say again how much protein to get to be able to lose weight and gain muscle? That's going to depend on your height, your weight, and your current body composition. So it's not the same number for everybody, but a guideline that we've mentioned earlier is 1 gram per pound of ideal body weight. So if your ideal body weight is 150 pounds, then you would eat 150 grams of protein. The other way I like to do it is based on your height. So if you are 5 feet tall, that's 100 grams of protein. And for every inch above 5 feet, I add 5 grams of protein. So if you're 5'4", you'd be at 120 grams of protein per day as a minimum.
And just this is a very important, you guys may not know this. Most women, like I mentioned earlier, for those that may not have seen that portion of it, eat about 30 to 40 grams of protein a day. And I always say eat a minimum of 100. And most women's eyes get really big. They're like, 100 grams, that's way too much. And then I'll say, do you even know how many calories 100 grams of protein is?
That's a good one.
Most of them never do. Okay, so then I say to the person in question, how many calories should the average female eat? And they usually get this right. They'll say, what, 14 or 1500? Yeah, 1500. Some a little less, some a bit more, but 1500. Then I say, okay, so let's go back to the protein saying 1500 calories. If you ate 100 grams of protein, how many calories is that? They're like, I don't know. The answer is 400. For every 1 gram of protein, there's 4 calories. For every 1 gram of carbs, 4, 1 gram of fat, 9. So for a person who would even get 100 grams of protein, they're eating 400 calories and still getting 1,000 calories from carbs and fat. Trust me on that. You will stop metabolic wasting, losing the muscle. Strive for 100 grams of protein. You will never look back and say, what was I listening to that guy for? You just won't regret that.
Absolutely.
And in the Growth Fit program, based on your body fat, where you currently are and what your goals are, we will tell you these are your macros.
Yeah.
And we adjust them.
Like easy plans, follow recipes, shopping lists, all that stuff. And really, once you start eating more protein, you start to like plan your meals around the protein, it gets a lot easier. Yeah. So it might sound overwhelming at first, and you don't have to go from 40 to 100 grams in one day. you just gradually increase it
Yes.
a little bit more. Instead of 4 ounces of chicken, maybe you have 5 ounces of chicken. Instead of having 2 eggs, maybe you have 4 eggs, or maybe you have 2 eggs and plus 2 more egg whites, and that's going to make more protein.
And one final thing before we move on from that. It's interesting because, we call it a program. What I like to say, it's an education. It's almost like how having you guys feel what it feels like to eat a balanced protein, carbs, and fat diet. Because most people don't know what it feels like. So in the beginning, people are like tracking, like, I have to track for the rest of my life on this program. The answer is learning what it feels like. You'll go ahead and track, and with your workouts, then the point is you don't have to track. You
Mhm.
just naturally eat. So this is more of an education. We call it a program. I hate the word program. Here's why. What do I do when I graduate from the
Yeah,
program?
yeah.
Where are you going? Back to where you were?
Well, you're learning valuable life skills.
Yeah, that we're trying to teach life skills. And so we have a design where for the average person, no, most people, they've never tracked. They're like, I don't want to do that the rest of my life.
I don't
I don't want to do it the rest of my life. And I don't track unless I'm doing a competition. But for the average person out there, even if you join for 1 month and you do that, you will learn so much.
So much.
It'll be worth 1 month.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
All right, this is a great question. Renee says, I'm guessing there are many in your audience that are 65 to 80 that have never had a regular exercise program who are currently quite fragile and muscle is poor.
Yep.
So would you consider setting up a program for these folks at this level? Guess what? We did. It's called GlowFit Level 1. So we have within the GlowFit program, there's different phases, and you go from phase 1 to phase 2 to phase 3. And if you're not ready to move past phase 1, you stay in phase 1 until you get strong enough and you get adept enough at the exercises to move to phase 2. So we got you covered here.
Mhm.
And we won't let you graduate to phase 2 until you have the foundations done in phase 1.
And saying that, this is very, very important. I am the master of phase 1. And actually, just what is phase 1? A basic controlled exercise working through a natural range of motion.
The proper form.
Yeah, and
knowing when to tense the muscles, knowing when to
that
relax,
phase 1,
when to breathe,
this is
how to hold your feet,
yes.
where to brace your body, proper posture, all of that is all included in the exercise demos and how we talk about them. And then also like with the phase 1 and with any of the phases, really, let's say you do the exercise, let's say it's a bicep curl, let's say you did, and then you're like, I didn't feel it where you said you should feel it. Coach Kijon will say, why don't you do this? Set up your phone, send me a video from the front, from the side, so I can see exactly what
Yes.
you're doing. And then I will coach you through how to do it. It's the next best thing to him flying to your house and doing it with you, because we can't do that for everybody. But you can see actually what you are doing and then correct it so that you don't continue to do improper form.
Yes. Renee, great question. And this is something that I have to put out there. A lot of people will go to a gym today or tomorrow or next week and sign up. And there are people that have been lifting there for years. And so what happens is they were the newbies years ago. So now they're lifting incorrectly. And so what happens is it's such a bad situation. You have people learning from people who never learned.
Oh, yeah, you're copying the guy that's doing it wrong. Yeah.
Yes. So it's interesting, I think, the phase 1, learning the proper, it's like I'm the master of phase 1. People are like, I want to go to phase 4 where you are, coach. I'm like, I live in phase 1.
Yeah.
The
exercises we do are phase 1 exercise.
Yeah, and we'll add a little TempoFlex and all that, little fancy stuff. But at the end of the day, I don't care if you're 90 years of age, resistance training will help you, and learning the basics, whether you're 18 or 90, is always the best thing. And phase 1 is the most important.
And then the converse to that is at 80 years old, someone who's never worked out can do the phase 1 exercises. And then me, who's fitter, can do those same exercises and get the same amazing results.
Right.
Because I'm going to do it with more weight.
Way more weight.
I'm going to do maybe some little holds or whatever at the end. So I'm going to make it challenging for me. You might have no weight. You might have water bottles in your hand. And you're going to have it challenging for you.
Yeah, body weight squat with a grandma at 90 years of age and me holding 100 pounds in each hand, and we're going up and down. They're both effective and doing the same thing.
Exactly. So it's everyone's going to be at their own level, and we have designed this for people who have never worked out before, have never even picked up a weight before. And if you don't want to even pick up a weight, we have home workout that you can do at bands. And so you don't have to touch weights if that's something that you're not ready to do yet. If you don't want to leave the house.
But I think the bands are harder. But that's another conversation. I don't even want to open that door.
Yeah, but yeah, so it is for all levels, and so we'd love to have you in the program. Let's see, can you address the safety of the program for people with osteoporosis in the hip and spine? So yeah, I mean it is safe for all kind of circumstances. If you do have severe osteoporosis in your hip and spine, you cannot stand and hold a weight, then we will have you do the exercises seated. But we can modify it really for any situation if you have pain. But weight training is the best possible thing that you can do for osteoporosis. There's three things that help reverse osteoporosis. One, especially for women, estrogen decline is one of the big things that makes your bones deteriorate. So replacing your estrogen, resistance training, not putting any kind of like resistance against the bone that is going to make it atrophy. When you put resistance against the bone, it has that hormetic stress, and the stress makes it have to build. And then the third thing is protein. Getting enough protein in your diet is going to help give you your bone its building blocks, and also your minerals and things like that.
And just to real quickly to add to that, in the home workouts, well, even in the gym, Dr. Michelle and I actually do the demonstration on video on every exercise. And the number one thing, keep your abs tight, make sure you keep your chin neutral. I'm pretty thorough on there, just so you know. So technique, body positioning, and safety is the number one concern, and then getting results. So I just want to let you know. So it's us actually doing the demonstration.
Yes, exactly. And like I said, if there's any that you can't do, then you just tell us like, hey, can't do this exercise, it causes pain, and then we give you a modification. See, how does libido and sex life change when a woman builds more muscle? Does it go up for some women and down for others? In what cases would each direction occur? Okay, I can take that one. So,
It is for women. Okay, well, I'm glad you took that.
Well, so libido is closely tied to a few things. One, your energy, two, your confidence, and three, your attraction to your mate, right? So your energy will increase as you build more muscle and become healthier and drop fat. As your metabolism improves, your energy increases. Your body composition is going to you're going to look and feel amazing in your body, and you're going to want to take your clothes off and jump on your man. And so therefore, like your sex drive is going to go up. Now, in what cases would it go down? It might be if you're overtraining, not getting enough nutrition, you're exhausted at the end of the day because you're not restoring your body with proper sleep, enough water, enough food, if you're overtraining. And so in that case, your libido might go down because you're just too exhausted, right? You just don't want to do anything. I think that few of the biggest reasons why women have low libido is when they're fucking tired, like they're just exhausted. Two, their hormones are kind of in the tank, and then building muscle will actually increase your testosterone, which is going to help with your sex drive as well. And then the other reason why women don't usually have a libido is sometimes they don't feel comfortable in their body, like they don't feel like sexy, and they don't want to take their clothes off. And then the other thing is the weight training will not help if you're not attracted to your mate. So
that's the
chemistry there, then
that's a whole nother conversation. Lie down on my couch now.
So yeah, so that's a different conversation, but it might give you the confidence to let go of someone who's not serving you anymore. Just saying. But yeah, so that's kind of how that works. So yeah, it definitely will help your libido, your sex drive, your hormone balance, all of that, your energy levels. So much different amounts of water, they say. So, okay, so that's like backwards. A lot of people say you should get different amounts of water.
Yes.
How much water do we say you should get?
I've been preaching for the most part, and like I said, my clients, they get to a level, they start dropping body fat. I don't have a definitive answer. It's easy for me to spit out 1 gallon, but for 100-pound woman, that's a lot of water. So all that I do know is that most people do not drink enough water, and every metabolic process requires water and hydration. So I'm going to have to say, as a general thing, I don't know. What would you say?
So like when someone's in one of my programs and they're trying to detoxify and they're trying to drop weight and they're trying to balance hormones, I always err on a higher. So I always say like a gallon of water a day is optimal. But uh,
Is it half their body weight in ounces if they're 200 pounds?
that like a minimum, I
Yeah,
would say a minimum. No, that's too low because I would only be
I know,
drinking
but
60 ounces
I
of
know,
water
but
a day.
most people just don't.
Yeah, I would say
Even
you need
60
to
ounces.
at least drink like 3/4 of a gallon.
Yeah.
Like if you really want to flush toxins, if you really want your skin to look good, if you want your digestion to work, like you need, if you want to poop, like you need water going through your body.
Yeah.
If you want your brain to work, like you need water. Like we live in this chronically dehydrated state,
Oh
and
my
everything,
gosh.
coffee and energy drinks and all the things that are dehydrating us. If you live in Florida, like I live in Florida, you better drink a gallon of water because you're sweating your butt off. And then when you're exercising too, you're sweating, so you need to drink water.
For those that are drinking 2 glasses a day, start with minimum half your body weight in ounces.
Yeah.
Once you start there, you're gonna be like, wow, why am I so thirsty? You will just naturally drink.
Yeah, it's like running. Like you can't like go from never running to running a marathon,
Mhm.
but you can go from never running to the mailbox. And the next day you can run to the end of the street. Then the next day you can run around the block. So with water, if you're drinking 2 cups, tomorrow you're gonna try to drink 3 cups. You're gonna keep 3 cups for like 4 days. And then you're gonna go 4 cups. You're gonna keep that for another 4 days. And then you're gonna get your body acclimated to
Try
more
that.
water.
Try it for 1 month. The increasing the protein intake and drinking water, that alone is going to change your game.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's like little things will make the big difference. If you guys would know what would happen to your mind, body, and spirit doing these things, you would not do them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's all basic stuff too.
Oh,
Drinking
I
water,
know.
eating protein.
Oh, I know. I know.
Yeah. There's not like, I know everyone wants like this like weird, like stand on one foot and do this.
Oh yeah,
Like
like some
yeah,
yeah.
there's not a secret. Let's see. I know if men take testosterone supplements, they can build more muscle. What kind of difference in muscle gains? The amount gained, rate of change you would see is same for women to give her hormone replacement before she's doing her strength training regimen for women not taking any hormone replacement. So if you are in a hormone deficient state because of menopause, so you don't have estrogen, you don't have progesterone, you have very low testosterone, it's going to be harder for you to build muscle because estrogen helps your muscles contract more. So it helps you to have like a deeper contraction, which makes your muscles build better. Testosterone also helps with muscle building. So it'll be harder for a woman who's in a hormone depleted state to build muscle as opposed to a woman who's in a hormone balanced state. But if you already have like decent hormones, you don't need to take more. So I'm not a fan of like super physiologic doses taking more than you should have to in hopes to build muscle. Um, what do you think?
Yeah, at the end of the day, just whether it's protein or how much you should exercise or what type of exercise, I think finding a good balance,
Mhm.
so yeah, super physiological doses of anything, protein, even exercise, but you're the doctor and that's your specialty,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
I
That
think it's possible to build muscle without having balanced hormones, but it's a lot easier and efficient to
oh,
do so with balanced
oh,
hormones.
without
Yeah.
without a doubt, just your energy levels
Yeah, exactly.
is more stable. So that alone, is something worth looking
Your
into.
sleep, because you need sleep, you need to recover
Hmm.
from working out. So your sleep is actually when you're going to be building the
Yeah.
muscle. So if you're not sleeping properly because you don't have any progesterone, your estrogen's out of whack, you get hot flashes and all that stuff is happening, it's going to make it harder for you to recover. And all the things are harder.
Yeah.
So is it possible? Could you do it? Like if I was on a desert island and I couldn't have any hormones, I could probably still maintain my muscle or
Yes.
maybe even build some muscle. It wouldn't be as easy,
Yeah.
as convenient, as
Yeah.
favorable.
Yeah. I'm going to say the least amount needed to keep you at optimum levels.
But I will tell you, I actually don't take any testosterone. So women do not need testosterone replacement in order to build muscle. I don't take any testosterone. My body makes enough as it is because weightlifting actually helps your body to make more testosterone. So I don't take any testosterone. I take a little bit of DHEA, which converts to testosterone. So, but yeah, you don't need to take, like, women don't need testosterone to build muscle, exogenous testosterone.
Question is, I don't see how I'd be able to eat that much food to get that much protein. Remember, 100 grams of protein is 400 calories.
Yeah.
That's not a lot of food.
Yeah.
However, you're eating more than just protein. I'm not saying just eat protein. There are people out there that are doing protein
The
only.
carnivore diet.
Yeah, and that's fine if that works for you. But I know for me, my body needs carbohydrates. I'm the biggest fan of protein and fats. I believe that's one of the main reasons why my skin and everything is very healthy.
Yes.
Because I was programmed when I was younger, taught to me by the gurus to go to a fat-free diet.
Oh, yeah.
My
We
jo-
all the women on this call are like
oh,
my age, and we all grew up like
yeah.
fat-free nation,
No.
Snapwells, cookies, Twizzlers,
Oh my
Red
God, you
Buns.
got worse
It
from
was
there.
fat-free, it was better.
Yes. So we talked earlier about being a vegan, right? It definitely is harder to get your protein in there and keep your calories down because of the carbs that come with that.
Right.
But if
It's
you,
doable.
it's doable, yeah. I mean, if you're looking to if you strive for 100 grams of protein, which I think is
Not that much food when you think about it.
it is if you're not used to eating protein, you're used to eating one egg, but then it's going to be overwhelming, you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
it's not, but it's all
it's
relative.
like eating toast and some other stuff with the egg. So you just take a piece of toast off, put another egg on, or put some ham on there or something else.
Hmm.
You just have to make swaps to your foods.
It would be worth it. What you would get from increasing your protein intake is so startling to your body. It's worth it.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Awesome. I'm 72. I've been exercising most of my adult life. I have osteoporosis. Do you have experience with safe exercises for osteoporosis? Absolutely, we do. Definitely. So yes, we can help you.
Yes. At the end of the day, you have to listen to your body and your joints and depending on your range of motions. But at the end of the day, the objective is to maximize and increase your range of motion to how the body was designed. Maybe with where you are, you can't do a full range of motion on any particular exercise, but the goal would be to slowly and safely increase the range of motion by getting your muscles stronger and building your bone
Yeah,
density and building your
essentially,
bone
the
density.
more load we can get on you, the better. So it's just gradually increasing that
Gradually
as your body gets stronger and all the accessory muscles get stronger. Then when we can get more load on those bones, then that is what's going to make them build.
And as mentioned, the worst thing you can do is nothing because you're guaranteed to slowly regress. That's guaranteed.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the weight training, like I said, it's one of the three things that is going to help benefit your osteoporosis for
Mhm.
sure. I like to work out first thing in the morning. I take a pre-workout first thing. Should I try a different routine to get me energized? Is that amount of caffeine bad upon rising for the day? I don't think it's bad. I think ideally for women hormonally, it's good to try to get some food before the high dose of caffeine if possible. Theoretically, what do? I have the caffeine first. So if you have any cortisol imbalance issues, you'd want to try to have some food in your belly before you do the pre-workout. But if you don't have cortisol imbalance issues, then that's absolutely fine. And I don't think caffeine actually has a lot of health benefits. So it's not necessarily bad for you. If you're drinking energy drinks all day or pre-workouts all day, then it can be bad for you, excessive caffeine. But usually the pre-workout's going to have like 200 milligrams of caffeine in it, maybe 200, 300, depending on the brand. So that's fine. But I would definitely drink like 32 ounces of water first when you wake up. That's going to help energize you the most. So like keep like a big cup by your bed. As soon as you wake up, before your feet hit the floor, gulp that water. That's going to help your digestion. It's going to help wake you up, energize you, help your brain, all that good stuff. And then you can have the pre-workout. How will menstrual patterns shift for better or worse when going about doing these kind of exercises? I'm thin with irregular periods, may or may not be perimenopausal. I might want to have a baby, in which case I don't want to lose my period. For those who aren't too thin, how can those who aren't too thin but thin do this without getting irregular cycle? Yeah, these are all actually like hormone safe, um, not overstrenuating, not over exercising. Like the plan is set up to be balanced. So you're not going to lose your period unless you don't eat or you do the workouts like 4 times in a row. So usually like when people lose their period from working out, it's because one, they're restricting calories too much, two, they're over exercising, or three, their body fat gets way too low, like to the point where it's like 10% or something like that for women. So yeah, so if that's none of the cases, then that won't be a problem for you. If you're thin or you think you're too thin or close to being too thin, then this program can actually help you to build muscle and help you get the right amount of calories so you don't put on fat, but you put on muscle.
There's always going to be extremes to anything in life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a well-balanced program enhances your mind, body, and spirit. You know, we are very, you have a doctor who is supporting and promoting this. Trust me whenever I say it's all about the balance.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care the age, how much your body fat is, how low your body weight is. It's all conducive to making you more fit, more healthy, and strong. And there's nothing about this program. There are no drugs. There's no part you're not getting any kind of prescriptions that's going to do. It's all healthy, all natural, and we're very proud of the program, and we're sure it can help everybody, even regardless of the higher elite people out there. If there's somebody out there that's elite, we can help you too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is just going to strengthen your body overall, all your hormones, your digestion, your bones, your muscles. So you don't have to worry about it being overtaxing too.
Yes. And for those like are on the fence with, the osteoporosis or your lower back, trust me, you need this to help you. Working out in a controlled manner with safety and form and function being the main priority, that's what you need. This is not a program to come in and getting ready to go running and doing events and doing bodybuilding. That is not it.
Yeah.
Our
Although if that's something you want, we can help you with
our
that.
physique's at the higher end of the spectrum, but what we did to get here will help you to whatever degree that you are and wish to get to.
And with that said, like anything I want to learn, whether it be Spanish or
So,
business, I'm gonna look for someone who's at the top of that to learn from. I'm not gonna look for someone that's like kind of just a little bit ahead of me. So yeah, I mean, well, we might be able to do a lot more than you can do when you start. Like we're the best people to help you get to where you want to go. I'll say that. Let's see. The next one, I've had 8 children. Oh my God.
Oh my God, bless you.
Bow down to you. I have one child, and sometimes I'm just like, how do people do it? 8 kids. She has diastasis recti, of course. Yeah, pelvic floor issues. I'm not surprised. Been to a physical therapist, and she wasn't able to help me. Previously, I was super fit and worked out my whole life. I've always had a clean diet. I feel very broken. I understand. That's why I call this masterclass Built Not Broken, because I've heard this so many times. And yes, that we kind of are saying the same thing a lot, but no matter where you're at, we had another lady with pelvic floor issues I talked to earlier. Yes, we can create this program so it works for you. Most of the exercises are going to be totally doable for you. We actually don't do a lot of like ab exercises, like sit-ups and stuff. There's not even any in the program. There might be like a couple. But maybe you skip a couple of those and we give you the ab exercises that are going to help to heal your diastasis recti instead of making it worse.
Yes.
And pelvic floor, like squatting and stuff like that is some of the best thing you can do to strengthen your pelvic floor. Our lower body exercises are some of the best pelvic floor strengthening exercises you can do. So I would say definitely we can help you. And do not feel broken. That's your start. That's today. Tomorrow you're going to start feeling stronger.
As you start moving the body is just one massive unit. It all works together. So believe it or not, and she mentioned this in the beginning, she'll do upper body and I'll have her flexing her legs. She says, Coach, why are you flexing my legs? I'm doing my bicep. And the concept here is that the body, mind, and spirit all function as one. So, with your core and everything like that, just keeping your abs tight, even when you're washing dishes. This is not about a 1 hour program that you do during the day. This lends to everything that you're doing, picking up your children or doing the laundry. So we want your core and everything else strong. So guys, try to remember in a fully functioning program, it's not about what you're doing for an exercise program. Sorry about that. This program is about making your mind, body, and spirit your physical aspect strong for all of life. The hardest thing is maybe picking up the groceries while you got
Yeah.
6 kids running
Well,
around.
that's how people always get hurt. They get hurt like
Yeah.
like picking up groceries or doing some
Yes.
like picking something up off the floor. That's how they end up getting hurt.
Yes.
And so, when you're strong in all areas and you're able to do all kinds of things. And I don't know how old your 8 children are now, but if they're still in the house, like it's going to help you do all kinds of stuff with them.
Yeah.
I know you're doing a lot of laundry. That's for sure.
Oh my God.
Let's see. If I join now, can I start the program mid-August? I won't have internet access. Yeah, you can totally do that. You can just let us know when you want to start. You can even do like an initial call with us and get like your diet down. So you could start doing that. And then, you can definitely hold off if you want to start
And
later.
don't forget your body fat test, Kiki. Okay, so I want you know because I'm on top of it. Just so you
Yeah,
know.
so you can definitely start now. And if you just want us to hold it until mid-August, that's totally
Oh my
fine.
God, gallon of water.
Should you lift weights every day? In the program, we have 3 weight training days. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or you can pick any days that you want. You do not need to lift weights every day. You actually should leave your body some time to recover. Could you lift weights every day? If you broke it up and you did like shoulders one day and legs another day and kind of did the body parts differently, you could, but you do not have to. Let's see, for me, the weak link with using weights is my hands have hypermobility, particularly at thumbs and wrists. This limits the amount of weight I can hold. Do you have solutions? Yes, we have somebody else in the program that has the same exact issue. So we do have ways to go around that. All right, you're welcome, Kelly. Let's see, I'm 75. I've lost 50 pounds. Great. Congratulations. Following a whole food, plant-based diet. I need to lose 50 more. I've gotten off all prescription medications, including hydrochlone for bone arthritis in both knees and shoulders. Wow, I'm so proud of you. Let's just take a moment to just say amazing job, Teresa. Do you think this is doable for me? Absolutely. Have you ever had a successful client like this? Yes, we have many women in your age range who are coming back from surgeries, coming back from overcoming traumatic life circumstances, different ailments and illnesses, and they are getting amazing results in the program. With the key is if you want to get good results in the program, you need to show up, you need to ask for help, you need to be get the support that you need because we are not in your house. And so if you have a question, ask the question. If you're not sure how to do something, send the video. So your results will definitely equate to how much support you asked for. So this lady is 75 years old. She lost 50 pounds doing a plant-based diet and she got off all her prescriptions, including prescription for bone
Good for you.
arthritis.
Good for you.
And then she wants to know if it's doable and if we've ever had successful clients like her. And I was telling her, absolutely. We have people who have gotten over surgeries. We have people who just get over traumatic events. We have Nancy who almost died in the hospital and she's doing amazing. So many people. And I was saying it's the people who are in those circumstances, the ones that ask for help, the ones who are hey, I can't do this. What can I do instead? And then they get the alternative. That's how you get the success in the program. So if you do join, definitely use the expertise you have here.
And also, Teresa, being the fact that you lost 50 just through sheer willpower, you have the most important quality, and that is desire. It doesn't matter how much knowledge, what we look like, what we think we can offer. At the end of the day, if you have that drive, you will draw the right information to you. Okay. So you lost 50 and you know in your heart with the right program, the right support and the right information, you'll lose the other 50. So this is a call out. If this is a time of your life where it's just time, you've had enough of it, then then it's right for you, then let's go.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. And congratulations again.
Yeah.
Amazing work.
Keep up the great work regardless where you end up.
Let's see. I know it's hard to compare your technique to thousands of others out there, but can you talk about functional biomechanics? Just how easy is it to get techniques wrong when lifting free weights or using machines? Could you go into short, medium, and long-term results can usually happen by continually doing these exercises each week in an incorrect way?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Real quickly, without getting too technical, depending on your femur length, the reason why most people, excuse me, a lot of people have a hard time squatting. They lean forward. It's genetic. It's your femur length.
Mhm.
If you don't fold up like an accordion, that's probably the number one thing with all the people in the Glow Fit program. They have problems squatting and whatnot and doing lunges, and they're like the number one thing that I talk about every week is their knees.
Mhm.
And we've helped so many people. So the answer to your question is yes, you can take 20 people squatting, and maybe genetically speaking, three of them, I'll call them natural squatter. I'm a natural squatter. Doc is
I'm
not a natural squatter. How do you know if you're a natural squatter? Whenever you get done, when we get done here shortly, just get your camera, step back, put it on the side, and just squat all the way down, all the way down, and all the way up. If you find your torso is leaning forward, it's not because you're weak or don't have the mobility, unless you have an injury, then you shouldn't be doing that. It's because your femurs and your bone length does not fold up. So to answer your question, your mechanics will determine on how you should work a certain exercise. A lot of people when they do chest press, they lay flat benched and they get all the anterior delt. Actually, you should have your natural arch underneath there. I should be able to slide my hand underneath the small of your back with your upper back and your pelvis on top of the bench.
Mhm.
Now take your chest involved. So yes, there's a lot of things that most people are doing incorrectly based on their genetics, muscle fiber types. And that's another thing too,
Mhm.
is muscle fiber types. You're born genetically predisposed to more fast twitch muscle fibers and slow twitch. And so what happens is you're training. So like I'm a power and speed guy. This girl is endurance. She can destroy me in endurance. And while you can train both fast twitch and slow twitch, you can never change your genetic predisposition for the ratio. Usain Bolt is fast twitch muscle fiber type. I'm sure he can run a marathon. It's going to be a heck of a lot harder for him to do that than in sprinting. So yes, all that is accounted for, and we look for that whenever we train people to make sure that they're training correctly for the genetic structure, and also make sure that we're stimulating fast twitch and slow twitch. So we're not heavy weight, and we're not like gazillion reps. We're
Yeah.
actually balancing both, and that's another thing that we take pride in our program.
Yeah, and I would say like if you're continually doing something with the wrong form, there's a few things that can happen. One, maybe you're not getting the optimal result from that exercise, so maybe you're not getting the best contraction of the muscle that you're trying to work. So the first thing was maybe you're not getting the best results from doing the exercise. The second, probably more problematic thing is maybe you are going to create an injury because you're doing it wrong.
Oh yeah, your
Like
body will.
like when you do certain exercises, like you have to stack your joints so that it takes the pressure off of your body. If you're doing like a bench press and you're bringing it out here, it's going to kind of hurt your arm. And so over time, that can create little minor injuries in the smaller muscles or even the bigger muscles or your joints. If you're doing a lunge run, it could tweak your knee over time. If you keep doing it, it can make that become an injury. So I would say, one, you're not getting the best results, and two, you're creating an injury that can be, problematic down the line. So I would always say like doing proper form is first and foremost the most important thing. If
Yes.
you're going to do exercise, I'd rather you do no weight, very, very slow, very few reps, but the proper form. And then once you get the form down, then you can add the weight on, you can do more reps. That's why we were talking about CrossFit, like, they're telling you to go super fast, but maybe not like checking your form all the time, and that can create injuries.
And I want to say most people watching this right now, they probably have had experiences in the past of maybe trying to do some weights and they hurt themselves.
Mhm.
And so I can see why a lot of people, especially when we get older, you're like, oh, I don't want to hurt myself. And so we take great pride on, that's why I watch videos all day of the members. And I gotta tell you, and I'm so glad they send the videos because they don't even know what they're doing
We
wrong.
think we're doing it right, and then
You see a video, it's like, oh my God, did you watch the videos that we put up?
well, because you think you're doing it, and then because it's not necessarily like everyone's like thing they've been studying their entire life,
Yeah.
like it's brand new to them, so they're getting most of it, but one crucial thing is off, and that crucial thing is something they may not notice that
Yeah.
you will notice.
Without going too in depth, like lat pull downs, everyone's on a bicep pull. It's actually be scapular adduction. Basically, you squeeze your shoulder blades together that draws the hand down where everyone else is pulling the bar. But that's just a sample of the many things that in our program we first and foremost is form and then getting stronger with proper form.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Cassandra says, what if you have SIBO, IBS, and have a hard time with diet? Is there any tailoring to the diet portion? Absolutely. Yeah, I can totally tailor the diets to go towards any gut issue diet that needs to be addressed. Let's see. Also, we're trying to find a local gym that has the best quality machines. Is there a directory out there where the gym gets certified for having the best machines? Not that I
No,
know of.
no, because even where we live, there's like 5 different gyms, and you have your basic manufacturer, Cybex, Nautilus, blah blah blah. And how can I say this? It's usually, not one brand has it's funny, we go to a gym and it's funny, it's like, oh, I like that machine over there,
Yeah, it's
and
usually different brands. They make like one that this one has a good glute machine, this
but
one has a good squat.
but as a horrible
Yeah.
hack squat, yeah.
Yeah.
So no, there is no pre-qualification or code, so to speak, for a gym. Basically, it's the owners, it's their choice, their preferences on what they want.
Yeah, I would just look around and go look around, maybe do like the free pass for the day and try the machines out, make sure. But the worst thing is like gyms that don't maintain their machines.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
like
that's an
that's the problem. But
yeah.
most gyms are gonna have like decent machines, I would
Mm,
say, as long as they're functioning well. For like the purposes of like the types of workouts we do, um, you don't really need a lot of machines. You need a barbell, some
Well,
dumbbells,
here's one for
some
you.
cables, maybe.
Here's one for you. If you got a light bar and you're 4'10" and you have the same bar and the guy is 6'10", it doesn't matter. The
Yeah.
machine, think about it. Now what happens is that you cannot build a machine that's going to be appropriate for a 4'10" and a 6'5" guy.
Yeah.
So to actually back up what she just said, dumbbells and barbells are superior in the fact that that your natural range of motion is not affected. The machine's quote can be safer because you're supported, okay? So, but push comes to shove, if you say to me what's the best bang for the buck, without a doubt, free weights. Because one more reason why. A machine is a bicycle with training wheels. You're supplying the power, but the wheels are balancing. When you take off the training wheels off the bicycle, now you have multi-planes that you have to balance, and that's what free weights. If I do a machine overhead, all I'm doing is going up and down, which is wonderful. If I hold a dumbbell, now I got the forward and backward plane, so it's multi-planes. Way more bang for the buck. They both serve their purpose. But if I had to choose one, I would choose free weights every time, depending on the circumstance.
Yeah. I would just make sure that the gym has like enough equipment. I would check, I'd go like at the time you plan to go and see how crowded it is. If there's any like specific you want classes or, like, does they have a nice free weight area? And is it clean? Things like that. That's the things I look for in
Yeah,
a
and
gym.
do they have wipes? Or is it like the common thing for people to wipe down their equipment?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. Is like, are people cleaning up after themselves? You come over there and there's a big old stain. I mean, big old sweat stain. They're like, "Excuse me, are you gonna wipe that down?"
Yeah, like is the equipment like newer looking? Does it look like it's from the 70s? Like that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
That's what I look for. Let's see. I have estrogen dominance. How would weight training shift this pattern I found in my recent
Mhm.
Dutch test? Well, that depends on a lot of things. It depends on why you have estrogen dominance. Do you have estrogen dominance because you're not making progesterone? Do you have estrogen dominance because you're not detoxing your estrogen? How are your other hormones? What's your current lifestyle like? Are you exercising at all? How are you eating? So like adding weight training is not gonna like magically like change your hormones next month. But what it does is it puts your body in a different metabolic state and it puts your body in the state to detox hormones, to make more testosterone and DHEA. So it will help hormone balance in that kind of indirect way, but it's not going to like magically change your hormones in the absence of the rest of the lifestyle. So hopefully that helps. Like if you're not making progesterone because you're in menopause and your ovaries are no longer making progesterone, weight training is not going to cause you to make progesterone, but it will help you make more testosterone. Testosterone is the one hormone that women can make from lifestyle. So from heavy weight training, eating enough protein, getting proper sleep, you can make more testosterone. You can't do that with the other hormones. So hopefully that makes sense. How do we find more information about the Alpha State program? You're going to email Kijon, Kijon, at glownaturalwellness.com, and he will send you a link It's not on our Go Natural Wellness website, but it's on our app. Let's see. When trying to lose a lot of weight, if muscle weighs more per gram of weight relative to fat, how do we actually go about losing weight?
When trying to lose a lot of weight, let's just put the correct wording when we're trying to lose body fat weight.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's very important. The reason why I say that, when women come to me like, hey, coach, I lost 10 pounds. I'm so happy. I'm like, that's wonderful. Let's get your body fat. You lost 10 pounds of muscle. We failed. So it's not about weight loss, it's about fat loss.
Yes.
Okay, so that's very, very important, because whenever I do the body fat and she loses, 4 pounds of fat, I'm ecstatic. Okay, she loses 4 pounds of muscle with something
Yeah, we're
harder.
happy about that.
And so if muscle weighs more per gram of weight, well, 10 pounds of muscle is the same as 10 pounds of fat.
Mhm.
How do we actually go about losing weight? Calorie deficit is how you go about losing fat. Resistance training ensures that you keep the muscle.
And it also will increase your metabolism
Right.
to make your deficit easier to get to, right?
Exactly, right, exactly. So remember, and also she mentioned earlier, the more muscle that for me to lose in a calorie deficit will be 2,500 calories, because I'm mostly muscle. For somebody else who's my height and weight with more body fat than muscle, their calorie deficit is 1,600 calories.
Yeah.
So muscle is youth. Muscle is that motor that everybody wants more of. You cannot have, for a female, it's impossible to have too much muscle. There's no such
Yeah.
thing.
With that said, let's say you're currently 160 pounds and your ideal is 120. And you start lifting weights, you start eating right, and you're starting to lose body fat. You might put on a pound of muscle and you might lose 10 pounds, 9 pounds of it fat, 1 pound of muscle. So you actually only lost 9 pounds. You know what I mean? Like, and that's good. Like, because now your metabolism is going to go up from that extra pound of muscle and your overall body fat is down, and you're going to keep going, and you might add another pound of muscle. It's going to take a long time to add a pound of muscle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you might lose more body fat, and you're going to look better, because that pound of muscle, don't forget, is much smaller
Yeah.
than the pound of fat. So don't be afraid of gaining muscle, because it's not going to make you bigger, because you're going to be losing fat at the same
Well,
time.
in actuality, if you're 160 with 100 pounds of muscle and let's say 60 pounds of fat, then you drop all the way down to 100 pounds of 105 pounds of muscle and 50 pounds of fat. Your body
Yeah.
is just massively different.
Yes.
Yeah, so don't be afraid of muscle. Muscle does not bulk you up. If anything, it gets smaller and smaller, increases your metabolism, and gives you beautiful shape.
Yeah. Let's see. Does the fat on the body, brown or other, change to muscle, or is there no conversion from one to the other?
No. Muscle cannot physiologically change to fat. And
Yeah, I've heard people say that.
People said that to me when I was younger. Oh, whenever you quit working out, all that muscle. No, change. No, what happens is if I were to get so injured that I couldn't physically move my body, which would be pretty much paralysis, because I'll move my earlobes. Is what happens is all I would do if I couldn't exercise for a month is decrease my calories, and I would not accumulate fat, because being that I'm not moving as much, I just don't burn as much calories. And in time, it takes a while for your body to atrophy. If I miss training for a few weeks, I'm not going to all of a sudden lose muscle.
Especially if you kept your protein up.
Yes, you kept your protein up.
So the thing is, like, your muscle can, like, if you're inactive, your muscle can atrophy and you can gain fat, or your fat cells can increase, but your muscle doesn't turn into fat.
Right.
A lot of people think it turns into fat and then your fat turns into muscle. No, you lose fat and the muscle builds. You don't actually lose fat cells, you just shrink your fat cells.
Yes.
To be totally technical.
Yes.
You have the same amount of fat cells in your body. You don't actually ever lose them, they just shrink. You can add more fat cells though. So that's why it makes it harder. Like, once you've been overweight, it makes it a little bit harder to lose. What do you think of power plates? Not as a substitute, but I love the power plate. I have one in my house. I use it every morning. So I like to stand on it for like 5 to 7 minutes and do like little squats. The power plate is amazing. It's vibration technology. So it vibrates like 300 times per second. and it makes you kind of tense all the little muscles. So I think it's great for like bone health, for metabolism, for just for like muscle density. I think it's great. Can you suggest a brand? The brand is actually Power Plate. That's what it's called. The type of technology is vibration plate. So that's the only one I've ever used. I'm sure there's others that are good, but I don't have any other reference point.
It's a great tool, but remember, the body with muscles and joints and bones is made to go through a range of motion. So that's why those are all great. I mean, I stood on that thing. I was like, what the heck?
I like it.
Oh, no, no. But what I'm trying to say is that those are all great tools. But to work the body, you have to work through the range of motion.
Oh, absolutely.
Nothing beats a squat. So you can stand up there and do that, but then get off and do body weight squats.
Oh yeah, it's great for like a warm up or a cool
Mhm.
down.
Yeah.
I think
Those are fun tools.
Yeah.
They're fun tools. I like throwing a football. It's just fun. But if you really want to shape your body, increase your metabolism, work your joints through
Yeah, she did say not instead of, but
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
I,
absolutely.
I encourage doing fun things and different things.
All right. Let's shoot.
Yeah.
It's
Two more,
2:40.
yeah,
Holy shit, we've been on here.
I know.
Oh
Like,
my God. So like the marathon. All right, I'm gonna answer two more questions, and then I'll download the Q&A. Maybe we'll come on and do like during the week, maybe we'll do like a live or something.
if we do it
If we
again,
do.
yeah. The next one, guys. So if you guys are watching this, the next one is I'm going to do a little demos because I'm really adamant about showing.
Let's do a live workout. Why don't we just do a live workout?
But we should still answer these questions.
Oh, we can answer the questions, yeah.
We'll
All
do
right.
both. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Next question, it looks like it's about blood type diet. I don't really subscribe to blood type diet. It's actually been shown that like there's no actual science behind it. It's just like real. Basically, if you take 1/3 the population, 1/3 the population, 1/3 the population, you assign diets, it's going to work for some people just randomly. And so doesn't really do anything. Let's see, I increased my protein to 100 grams and noticed I've been feeling more bloated and heavy and have a reduced appetite. Do you have any insight? It might be because you don't have enough hydrochloric acid in your stomach to break down the protein, in which case you might want to substitute or supplement with like betaine HCl, hydrochloric acid. A lot of times as people get older, they stop producing their stomach acid, and that makes them harder to digest protein. So you can supplement with an HCl supplement, and that will help you not get bloated. What about using creatine? We addressed that already. I tried macro counting and it was stressful. Do you help with menus? Yes, we do. I can never hit my macros. Plus, I don't eat wheat, gluten, or dairy, soy, chicken, pork, or eggs. That's okay. We can still accommodate that. I don't eat wheat, gluten, dairy, soy, pork. So I do eat chicken and eggs, but we can take those out as well, and you can still do the plan. Is detoxing part of your programs, and any helpful information on detoxing? We do have a 10-day detox that we start with. It's really great because you get like a quick win. It cleans your body out and gets your body ready for the program. All right, I'm going to thoughts on HMV. That's another thing that you can add in. It might give you negligible benefits. Some people really love it. Nothing wrong with it. You can totally add it in, but it's not necessary to have success.
My little quick tidbit, just because I've been doing this my whole life, training hard for a high level and keeping my metabolism up. My story is whenever I started back in the day, they had all these supplements, and I swore by cybergenics and I swore by hot stuff. And then as the decades and years went by, those products went away. So everything that existed whenever I was in my 20 no longer exists. So I'm going to go on record and say if it was touched by life itself and by the sun and God, that's going to be better for you than any supplement on the planet. Any protein powder, HMB, creatine. If you're eating great foods and moving the body, that's all
Yeah,
that you need.
you're already eating like optimally. You're already exercising optimally. You're sleeping optimally. You're drinking your water. Then if you want to go ahead and add in the extra things, go ahead.
Yes.
It's like a little.
But if you're not
extra,
doing all those things,
they're not going to work as well.
Nothing
Yeah.
works. Nothing.
Yeah, you're better off spending the time like focusing on getting higher quality food and then not spending money on an extra supplement. I'd rather you buy organic chicken or organic eggs or organic beef
Yes.
and eat that and then not worry about the other thing. And then it goes into the other question, is eating a lot of protein dangerous? It's not if you're eating high quality protein. And a lot of protein is relative. So 100 grams of protein, 150 grams of protein, that's not really considered a lot by scientific standards. Scientific standards is like 500 grams of protein is considered.
Oh, no, no. Back in the day, they would told me to eat like 400, 500 grams. I couldn't go to the bathroom. So the answer is yes.
Yeah, too
Absolutely.
much. Yeah.
Absolutely. But even at 30%, I was eating like 90%. But 30%, 40% of total calories is not.
Yeah. And it really depends on the individual too.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up because it is getting kind of late. I will put in the chat one more time the link to the GlowFit program.
And thank you, while she's doing that, thank you guys so much for taking the time to spend with us. And for those that are
Yes.
watching the replay, we are very confident in the program, the Alpha State for Men. I'm excited about that
Yeah.
because the men need help too. And I don't know, we're very grateful for your time.
Absolutely.
For those that
If we didn't
feel
get to your question, I am going to download all the questions and I'll either answer some as like Instagram lives or YouTube shorts. And we can do that maybe together and we'll get your questions answered. How do we join? I just put the link in the chat, but we will send out a replay for those of you who are here on Zoom that signed up. And if you're on YouTube and you're stumbling across this, just email support, SUPPORT at glownaturalwellness.com and we'll send you all your links. And we'll try to put the links in the YouTube description later. But there's the link. And then don't forget to put in Fit 50.
for the discount.
At checkout, you get 50% off, and that's ongoing for as long as you're in the program.
And Annie, I look forward to seeing you with the demo too, okay?
Awesome, awesome. You're so welcome. Of
Oh,
course.
awesome,
Yeah,
Alma.
so we'd love to see all of you in there. And like I said, this is not like
Thank you, Marsha.
it's not a PDF that we send you and say you're on your own.
Oh,
Like,
no, no, no.
we meet every week. We are as involved as you want us to be in your program, and we really we love celebrating the success. Like we love it. It's what I love to do.
And you'll be sending me videos of your exercising, so I make sure you're on point. There'll be a lot of accountability.
Yeah,
I'm really
you'll get to know us really well. And then you also get to come to my house and work out with us if you want to. We will let you know when we're traveling across the country and maybe we're coming to your city and we'll meet up with you.
Austin, Texas.
Yeah, Austin, Texas is next. So if you're in the Austin, Texas
area, thank you,
we'd
Mary.
love to see you. Thank you guys all so much. Again, glownaturalwellness.com. If you are looking for the GlowFit program, you just search GlowFit and you'll find it in there. Fit 50 is the discount code. And if you have any questions at all, reach out to us, support at glownaturalwellness.com. If you want to talk to Coach Kijon about getting your husband's fit or an event, it's Kijon, Kijon at glownaturalwellness.com. Oh, I just left Canada. We were in Kelowna, but I'll probably be coming back to Canada again. Actually, I'm coming back to Canada in September. Middle of September, I'll be back in Kelowna if you're anywhere near that. All right, you guys. It's been wonderful seeing you guys. So fun. I always like talking about.
It's never too late, guys.
Never too late.
And
you're never too ill, too hurt, too injured to do something to improve your health.
Yes.
If you can watch this video, if you can hear my voice, we can help you improve.
God bless.
Love you. Bye. I gotta turn this one off and then I have to turn the YouTube.